As the search for people missing in the catastrophic Texas flash flood continues, emotional stories are emerging. This man, Michael Abner, was evacuating a Kerrville RV park when he heard screams coming from another RV.
I heard some screaming, so I went to try and help whoever was screaming, and it was an RV with a family of 5 people in it, floating, and I was trying to reach where I can grab a little girl that was at a window, but I couldn't reach her, and she couldn't get out. So the policeman came and told me that we had to get out immediately, and there was nothing more we could do to help.
At least 120 people were killed in the flood. Officials say as many as 160 others are still believed missing. A worship service was held in a Texas football stadium last night in memory of those who were lost. 31 construction workers were rescued last night from a partially collapsed industrial tunnel in Los Angeles.
LA Interim Fire Chief Ronnie Villanueva.
It was determined that a structure failure of the tunnel lining failed approximately 5 to 6 miles in, trapping that we thought 27 individuals. 4 actually went in to rescue.
Authorities say the workers climbed over more than 12 feet of soil to reach a boring machine, and all were transported back to the one single opening of the tunnel. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says that on the way to the scene, she thought the worst.
We're all blessed today in Los Angeles. No one injured. Everyone's safe.
All audio courtesy of KABC. I'm Donna Warder.
Russia's military continues to pound Ukraine. At least 2 people killed in overnight missile and drone attacks. The strikes caused fires across the capital city. Secretary of State Rubio has met with his Russian counterpart. More at townhall.com.
Healthcare is complicated. It doesn't have to be. If you don't love how your health insurance works, maybe it's time to leave traditional health insurance behind. Take charge of your healthcare with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM offers you flexibility. Enroll anytime, choose your own provider, and select the program that fits your needs and budget. CHM is the original faith-based way of taking care of your medical bill costs. Learn more at chministries.org/wellness.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Several provisions of President Trump's mega budget bill that were cut for parliamentary reasons could still resurface in future legislation, as Bernie Bennett explains.
House Budget Chair Jody Arrington told Politico during a news conference Tuesday that Republican lawmakers are formulating a plan to include parts of the bill that violates the Byrd Rule in future legislation. The Byrd Rule requires that all aspects of the budget bill must have direct impact on spending or revenue. Several parts of Mr. Trump's budget bill did not align with the Byrd Rule, according to the Senate parliamentarian. Arrington told Politico on Tuesday, quote, "I think we should make another run at that and look for ways to structure the provisions so that it's more fundamentally budgetary in impact and policy." Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Applications for unemployment benefits fell last week, remaining in the historically healthy range of the past couple of years. The Labor Department said this morning that jobless claims fell by 5,000. Wall Street, Dow futures are off 78 points. News and analysis at townhall.com. A new UN AIDS agency report says the sudden withdrawal of U.S. funding has caused a systemic shock to the global effort against AIDS and HIV. Years of American-led investment into AIDS programs has reduced the number of people killed by the disease to the lowest levels in more than 3 decades. The UN AIDS report, out this morning, says if U.S. funding is not replaced, it could lead to more than 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million more HIV infections by the year 2029. Elon Musk's AI company said that it's taking down inappropriate posts made by its Grok chatbot, which appeared to include anti-Semitic comments praising Adolf Hitler. Last week, Musk had said that Grok had been significantly improved. However, since then, Grok shared several anti-Semitic posts. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Ah, yes. The penultimate day of the week. One day closer.
Sun's out.
Guns out.
That's right. Happy Thursday.
This is going to be a busy, busy weekend.
This weekend?
Yes, this weekend.
What's
I know
on?
it's post-weekend for like everybody else's busyness.
Farmers Market starts Saturday.
Farmers Market
That's
starts
a good
Saturday.
Thing.
The Salvation Army is going to be holding their breakfast.
Second Saturday of the month breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is my daughter's birthday.
Ah, that's true. Big birthday weekend.
Yeah, we'll be having a party for her on Saturday. Hopefully, we can wrap the party before my pay-per-view starts because there's a wrestling pay-per-view. There's so much wrestling this weekend. There's like, okay, now this is where I get in the weeds a little bit.
All right.
So the company that I watch, support, and most people don't, is AEW. They're holding their big event, All In, which is like their WrestleMania.
Okay.
It's in Texas this weekend. So WWE decided to counter-program against AEW by holding 3 different shows.
Wow.
Because All In kept getting moved around the weekend, and so they're like, all right, fine, here's an NXT show. Fine, here's an all-women's pay-per-view on Sunday. So there's 4 events to technically watch this weekend. I'm really only interested in watching 2, so I'm not, bog myself down this weekend, but there's a lot going on.
So will there be a wrestling watch party this weekend?
I'm going to get with Ram and the boys and see if they want to, maybe chip a couple bucks or, and I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm not saying you should, but there are feeds out there that you can find that exist. That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes those feeds are useful.
I know a guy.
I might know a guy. I know somebody.
Well, good deal. But yes, there's a lot going on this weekend.
Yes. But yeah, the Salvation Army breakfast is going to be happening, I believe, starts at 6:30. Don't quote me on it. Maybe 7.
Okay.
It might be 7, but it goes till I think 11 a.m.
Okay.
Or until they run out of food, which they don't do that.
No.
And yeah, it's all you can eat. So come on out.
We're going to get their grub on Saturday.
Get your fill.
For $10.
That's it. Best breakfast in town.
Yeah, they do it the second Saturday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you literally roll you out of there for $10. And all the proceeds go back to help Salvation Army, which, with everything going on right now, they could really use your help. Although I will say this. I was noticing this more and more yesterday. I think this is a good thing.
Okay.
I don't know if they were better prepared for this flood in Ruidoso this time, but we're not getting the influx.
Now I know
of folks, like we were before.
Here's the thing, and this is something that I was thinking about yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that, I thought about it. I'm like, well, the last time, and it's actually the exact opposite. The last time they had warning. The last time they had, they knew what was coming several days in advance, and in fact, evacuation orders were put in place. And then they left. They didn't really have anywhere to go, so they came here. This time, it sort of came out of nowhere. Everybody I've talked to said they had no choice but to stay in, shelter in place and survive.
Okay.
And I think
but even now, I was hearing yesterday, they only had 20 people in Ruidoso at the little evacuation center.
Yeah, and I'm not real. I think the water seceded a lot faster.
It went out as quick as it went in, kind of
exactly.
thing? Yeah,
exactly. Because I mean, I was actually just looking at some pictures of I think they said it was the Brady area, and they were showing where the water line was, and then it was just people walking through the area, kind of assessing. But the water, like at one point, there was a picture of a guy holding his daughter, and where he was standing, the water line was about 2 feet above his head.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was places where it pooled for sure.
The intensity of this thing, I'm not questioning,
right.
But I'm just thinking, well, maybe people had a better plan this time.
I think the other thing also is after, what's the line? You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I won't get fooled again. I think that's how Bush said it. Won't get fooled again. So I think that's a big part of it is they went through it last year and they were like, okay, we're gonna be at least prepared for something to happen next time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. That being said, continue support. I know Food Not Bombs, with many hands. There's several different organizations that have links that can help you post directly to support folks in Ruidoso and things like that. That being said, keep doing that. But like I'm feeling a little optimistic that maybe people are, they have things for this one. Things are better covered.
And I think that's a big part of it is they're like, all right, we're going to have pallets of water on hand and we're going to have, first aid supplies and resources available at least so that if this happens again, we can prep for it.
I'm just thinking, wonder if there's a design you could build a house, but like you've seen like those videos, and it's usually like in China where they have like earthquake beds that like drop you in. And have you seen those?
Yeah.
Like if an earthquake happens, the bed drops you in and puts you in this like basically titanium box during the thing. What if we had a house that when the water hits, like some pontoon thing comes up underneath it and it just floats that bad boy to safety? I don't know if
that's necessary. I mean, because then you'd have to be able to pilot. Otherwise, you're just careening down whatever waterway.
I think what you need to do is anchor it. Like you haven't seen Twister 2, have you? Electric Boogaloo.
No. But I know in Twister 1, that one pipe in the middle of that abandoned house was sure handy.
Well, in Twister 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm going to call it Twister 2 Electric Boogaloo. I don't care what anybody says. The guy has like his special truck that he literally drills come out and drill him to the ground so he cannot leave. It literally, he can sit in the eye of the tornado.
Right. So
I'm just saying, what if we put pontoons but some kind of drill to keep it in place?
I first of all, this is morbid. We're talking about this.
I'm just saying there's a solution.
In Mike's dream house scenario.
Yes.
The wall of water is coming.
Mm-hmm.
The pontoons blow up so that you can float. And at the same time, a harpoon shoots a spear into the ground.
Yes, to anchor you.
So you're just...
It might be several harpoons to keep stability.
Now you're bobbing in the water. So then what we need to do is make sure that all of our furnishings, all of our bedding are on gimbals.
Yeah.
So that while the house is doing this, we're just like...
And then piece de la resistance, some kind of particle evaporator that you could put on the deck of your house. So as debris comes at you, you could just blast.
All right, so we need a plasma cannon.
It could be done.
I don't know, man. But if you ever do get your dream home, I know that the apocalypse, I'm coming to your place.
Oh, by the way, we'll have a soft serve ice cream machine.
And weirdly, still a loose screen door.
That's right. Flies still get in.
Some things we just don't ever get to. All right,
flies get in still. I'm just saying it's feasible.
Yeah, most people dream about a wraparound porch. Mike sits and dreams about pontoons and harpoons.
That's right. Why not? Gotta have a reason where it get. There's a reason I had to buy a Gordon's Fisherman rain slicker outfit just for this moment.
I'm just glad because the original idea I had was gimbals, so I'm glad I was able to work gimbals somewhere into this scenario. But I love pontoons and harpoons.
That's right.
Mike Winter's story.
Yeah, I'm saying we could design this.
Where were you a month ago? Ruidoso could have used you.
That's right. Could have held these pontoons. But
we're going to have to completely renovate the city.
I will laugh hard if someone actually or engineers and design something that does this.
I'm sure there's we're being facetious, but I'm sure there's a real world version of kind of everything we just described.
Probably.
There's bound to be
some gazillion-dollar home that does all this.
Right. That's one thing I've always wondered is, like, why do the richest people build their houses on the lowest land? Okay, beachfront, great. You're getting wiped out first.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, if you're in Ruidoso, technically you're probably in higher land than we are.
That's true. I was going to say, in fairness, the richest people can afford just to go buy another home, so it's not that big of a deal. Still.
That's right. But all kidding aside there, yeah, please support these.
Besides all that nonsense, let's remember our friends and our neighbors.
We can fantasize about possibilities. I'm going to build
I was just thinking, if you fill yourself up with enough Salvation Army breakfast, you're then more buoyant.
Anchored down.
You're anchored, but also more buoyant. So if you do get swept away, you'll at least float.
Fueled by bacon.
Fueled by pancakes and bacon. It is the most counterintuitive breakfast you can have, really, because, that's the start of the day. You're supposed to go in and get energy. You leave feeling logy. You need a nap. That coffee ain't doing nothing.
But 2 hours later, you're ready.
That's right.
All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. We had Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, join us. Had a great conversation with him, so we'll play that for you here shortly.
Clam strip lover, Brian Luck.
That's right. You know what? Weirdly enough, I was doing a grocery shopping list to turn in to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
The recommended stuff, clam strips.
You're listening, man.
I was like, how did it know I was talking about clam strips?
The apps are tuned in to your needs.
Try these, whatever that brand is, the frozen clam strips. They also had butterfly shrimp and calamari.
Ooh.
But anyway, so we'll talk with Brian Luck. We'll play that interview for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, Amy McFay-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will join us, talk Heritage Dinner, a few other things as well. And then Crystal Noble from the Humane Society will join us for their twice-a-month visit here in the 9 o'clock hour. Give us an update there. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a look at your weather. We got some warmth, a little rain, a little bit of everything coming our way.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 71% with winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Crazy sevens. Let's see. For today, going to be a warm one. Not really talk of rain during the day today. Just sunny and hot. Highs near 100. They say 99 officially, but we'll call it 100. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, tonight they're saying we have a slight chance at some overnight showers. 20% chance between midnight and 3 in the morning. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 72 with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday going to look a whole lot like today, sunny and hot, 99 for a high, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Once again, Friday night, we got a 20% chance of showers. Overnight low of 71 degrees, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, we are looking at decent chances of rain, a 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon, mostly sunny and 92, so a little cooler. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 50% chance of rain Saturday night. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 67 degrees. Sunday, we're looking at a 30% chance at afternoon showers. Mostly sunny and 87 for a high. Even cooler like that. 20% chance of rain for Sunday night as well. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. And then we are, at least the first half of next week, 20 to 30% chances of rain. Looks like highs Monday 89, 90 on Tuesday, 91 on Wednesday. So after today and tomorrow, we do get a little dip in the temps here for the next several days. All right, 7:20, we're going to take a 2-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Superintendent Brian Luck. That's on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
The Missoula Children's Theater will be hosting a week-long workshop for children ages 6 to 17 at the Spencer Theater. Auditions will be held on Monday, July 21st. This workshop is free of charge for participants thanks to the generosity of Ruidoso Ford Lincoln. For more information about the workshop or to purchase tickets to the performance on July 25th, visit spencertheater.com or call the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
So I make a silly joke about it never raining, and now it seems like it'll never quit. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. All this rain is great, but soon the weeds will be waist high and the bugs will be as thick as flies. But here at Roswell Seed, we have just what you need to control the weeds and fend off the bugs before they take over. So come see us at Roswell Seed, and be careful what you joke about. Mother Nature sure has a wicked sense of humor.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. We now carry Mayo Furniture. Not only is it proudly built in the U.S., but there are hundreds of custom options to choose from, including fabrics, top-grade leathers, nail head, trim, and feet. The quality and construction stands apart from other brands in the industry, ensuring your satisfaction for years to come. Turn your living room into a reflection of your refined taste. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. Unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in the studio this morning, Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, back with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
It's summer, bud.
He is a clam strip guy, right?
Yes, sir.
So ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
Sean's getting all accusatory, like I made some judgmental thing. We can solve world problems over a clam strip, maybe.
As we should. Who would think differently besides Sean?
That's right. But anyway, of course, this is kind of quiet in the public eye as far as school, but I know this is kind of it's the off season, so they got to get ready for the season. So there's, getting the buildings,
yes, sir,
ready to go. All that's kind of this time of year for you guys, right?
It is. It's interesting that you say that. I ended the board meeting last night with, do y'all realize the next time we see each other, we'll be back in school?
Sure.
Sorry. Sorry about that one. There is a ton of work going on right now, as anybody that's in the business knows. And I will say that if you're, got it on your plans to get up to a building to go register or to go check on a schedule, this is about the time where we've got the rooms done and we've got all the little smaller places cleaned, and now we're working on the hallways and the lobbies. And so there may be a little bit of disruption as far as getting in there. Just be a little patient with us. I mean, our end goal is so that once the teachers walk back in the door, that everything is ready to rock and roll.
And hit the ground running.
And you're right. I mean, we're clock's ticking. It's been a good summer. We've had a lot of work done. We've had a lot of closure with things that we did in the last year, and then, again, ramping up for this year.
You know what I love, though? And this is, granted, because my wife's been teaching as long as she has. And, we talk about, we got to get the buildings ready and all this. But, as someone that remembers 25 years ago, it is so night and day different. Because back then, you're like, all right, how many swamp coolers we got working? How, the trailer, we need to move trailer. Now we got, for the most part, every school in the district has been upgraded and ready to, is much easier task to probably maintain and get ready than, say, 25 years ago.
It is, and technology does a lot. I mean, some of our cleaning equipment that we have at the schools, It does make it a whole lot easier for our crews to do the work. But I mean, at the end of the day, someone's pushing a button, someone's on a mop running the stripper, someone's getting stuff ready to go. But you bring up the swamp coolers. When I first started, I mean, there were the majority of the buildings in town. That's what you ran off of, and it made an early start in August really hot. Plain and simple.
It was 85 degrees, 90 degrees in some of them classrooms.
Oh, it absolutely. And the funny thing is too is one of the last places to get done that we did get centralized heating and cooling was central office.
Right, the building that you guys would hang out most of the time.
Right, and that as it should be. I compliment the people that had the foresight, that take care of the kids first. Obviously, we had air conditioners and we had window units and stuff in those offices. But when you would go and you'd open a door to an office and literally you
get smacked in the face.
You would mess up your hair and do all kinds of things because of the pressure in that room. But it does make it a whole lot easier. And if you just jinx us for having HVAC problems right there coming up, this is being recorded, and I will come back to you.
I've had a history of these things and brought into Mojo by accident. I apologize for every one of them.
Yeah,
but it was just one of those things. Like I remember though, Birch Farm. I remember that back then when I remember we going in Kim's classroom and I'm like, oh my God, I was like, yeah, we got it. It's just that was the norm for years, and now it's not that big a deal.
And it's interesting too. The longer you do this, and I say this, any teacher right now, and I say, hey, smell the building the first time you go back to it. Like right now, can you smell it in your head? And most of them can.
Yeah.
It has a clean odor to it. The fresh wax, if it's been painted or any kind of touch up work.
No, you don't have to open your eyes. Just walk.
No,
I know where I'm at.
Exactly. And you know where you're at. And the other part of it too is it kind of sets the body in motion. And that's what you do as a job. And
it triggers the brain. All right, I'm in teacher mode, or I'm in job mode.
Yeah, I'm in go mode, and hopefully it's a good thing. And then you have a good year. And we go from there. So if I can, real quick before we get started, I just want to compliment Dr. Powell. I listened to that interview coming over here. What a cool individual.
Yeah.
I cannot think of any other college president that could pick up a kid's name or have a thought like he was with 2 or 3 of the kids and students that had gone to his school.
Yeah.
You don't find that in other places. I mean, Texas Tech, the Chancellor of Tech, I'm sure he does a phenomenal job, but to have him come on and go
recall names of students in a class,
speak of them that personally, that there's a personal connection to those kids. We look forward to working with the college. They've been such great partners for us, and we fully support what they're doing out there. I was one of the 3 that went on the tour the other day. I got to go in the flight simulator. We crashed. I wasn't driving. They wouldn't let me drive. I was like, I'll drive.
Stick to running school districts, not.
Yeah, but we're really behind it. That Huey helicopter. What a cool thing that is going to be.
I'm looking forward to that.
And a great addition to that veteran cemetery. What an honor that's going to be. But
and I think it's going to be even more special if the students in the college get to actually make an active participants in the rest. I know they're going to have Aircell and some others help, but I think that's even a more cooler gesture to have.
Oh yeah,
some of the students that 10 years from now they're going to be out there with their kids or whatever. And say, your dad had a hand in that, or your mom had a hand in that. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I went to a graduation probably about 15 years ago in the hangar. Excuse me, and how much different it is now than it was then, and how they just have to continue to keep advancing it. And it does take funds to do that. So just wanted to make sure for a shout out for him.
Absolutely. And kind of talking about the other stuff, and this is really cool that, like you said, the partnership that the RSD and the college have. And at the end of the day, it just makes each other better and makes our whole community better. And these kids, it gives them that opportunity to show that there's multiple paths to success. There isn't just the one, okay, this way. Let's look, if your brain, your body is more skilled at this kind of work, let's start grooming it now.
Right.
We don't have to, and that's going to allow so many people to find their niche earlier in life and find that path a lot easier.
Well, and the goal now is to merge because when you start offering different things and people start taking advantage of, and then other people that they may not have the time, they're involved in different things, and so that's my goal right now is how do we blend the two so that everybody has the chance to do really almost as much as possible as what they want. What I'm trying to avoid is I'm going to do this or this, and I think that's unfortunately it's a stigma. Well, if you can't do this, or if you don't want to do this, then you'll do this.
Right.
And it's like, well, why can't we do both?
Sure.
And that's going to be the challenge, because there's 24 hours in a day, and 8 classes in a high school schedule.
Till we get that Harry Potter clock thing that can turn back time, if you can work one of those out, then until then we got to deal with the best we can.
I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be neat. But as far as the work that Mrs. Cole and her crew are doing with the CTE programs in the high schools and now into the mid schools, that's where we're headed. And we had a presentation last night on our attendance and how our attendance is improved.
Good.
Overall, and there's a reason for that. They're wanting to be there for a reason. They're wanting to stay. We're just hoping to double down on that.
Is part of that too COVID still? As we get farther away from COVID, because obviously COVID impacted attendance big time. Are we still seeing impacts from that a little bit, even 5 years later?
My professional, unbiased opinion would be that it established a new norm for a set of people.
Gotcha.
That they didn't totally put the importance of every day, and that it's taken us a while, because it really hasn't been that long.
Right.
That we've had to do a little bit of a retrain and a rethink that, yes, it is, they are missing stuff. And although they can probably pull up an assignment on the computer, they're still missing that face-to-face interaction with the teacher. And that's at all grade levels. We had some elementary schools that grew like enormous. We had some that grew by just a small, minute percent. And I pointed out to the board, I said, that some of that's life-changing for those families, that for 3 years, they were able to do this. And then now all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they made the decision that they were going to change their ways and really put the onus on getting their kids to school more.
Sure.
And it makes a difference. And that's 100% those families.
Well, and this is the evidence you see here, and I'm not, but this is just what we're seeing, is, the kids that were starting school at the time of COVID, even 5 years down the road, where they're now getting ready for middle school age, in that area, that group of kids still aren't really up to speed where they should be at that level at some level. Right. And a lot of it's because they weren't in classrooms. They weren't face-to-face. They weren't in front of teachers in those formative years, and they're still making up for some of that. The evidence is just showing it across the board, right, across the country.
Well, and if you think about it, even on your phone, you'll get a photo or something that'll pop up from a trip you did. And if it's 4 or 5 years ago, that's that magic time window of when that all started happening. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the people that are with you, especially if you have kids in the photo. Look at how different physically they are now, okay? And that there were things that were not the same that they were for everybody else. I think, I know our staff has done about as good of a job as they can. And, we've established a new set of norm, and we're going. The work that's come out of even the public education department, they always kind of get a bad rap. But, they had to deal with a lot of this too.
Yep.
So,
this is not a unique thing to one. Yeah. That's what I was kind of saying. This is on a national scale.
Right.
It was just that group of kids are literally a little bit, behind just because of the lack of being in a classroom during that time.
Well,
and it's just the evidence is still showing that to this day.
When I was at the high school level, I kind of coined a phrase that you're special, but you're not different.
Right.
And that's the way I look at that group of kiddos. They're going to be a special group of kids as they go through, but we don't need to be treating them any different.
Exactly. That's their hurdle. They've got to, just like we all have our own hurdles in different generations and different things, and that's you can't give an exception because of this, and life still moves on. We still got to get these folks to where they need to be.
Right.
We just got to get a little bit more creative on how we do that for this.
Well, and I really do look for some great things with that group, because I think that as they've moved through the the test scores have improved, but we've also got some more focused initiatives that we've put in place just for all kids. That the kinks have all been worked out. So about the time that group hits the 6th, 7th grade, they really should be the benefactor of things that resources that have never been available to kids in our school. And not because we planned it that way. That's just where it's going to lay out. You know, I'm going to go that glass is half full right now, and I am looking forward to
well,
to
the technology will get better. We can, you know, I'm going to take a stab at some point. It's going to be like the Marvel movies where they have the little hollow meetings where like there's the teacher in one room and like everyone's a hollow image of someone in a. I mean, I would not be surprised if that's what we see. Maybe not in my lifetime, but in some young people's lifetime here. You know.
Well, the irony is when we had a really heavy math shortage, probably about 10 years ago here in our district. And it's funny you say that because we had a teacher doing a live lesson in one room, and we were piping that teacher into probably about 6 different classrooms over the Promethean board. So, yeah. I can see something along those lines, but
and that will work when they get the technology right, and it looks and feels like the real people in a room together interacting, because then you're not really missing that beat.
But for all of the union people that are listening right now, that is not the mode of Brian Luxon, nor the Roswell Independent School District as a whole. We still value our educators greatly.
And if you're mad, blame Captain America. Sorry. He put a thought in our head.
So we did have the Legislative Educational Study Committee, the LESC, was in Roswell last week. We had several senators and representatives, and we had them over at Del Norte for 3 days. And what they do is they, Candy Spency's on that, several of the crew that we work with a lot. And they come in, they get feedback. They're constantly working. You know, a lot of people think that the legislators, if it's not in session, they're not doing anything. Right. Oh, my gosh, that is so wrong. For 3 days, they just got pounded with information. Hats off to them for giving up their time to come and listen to educators and to hear the reports.
Well, this is how they take the ammo back to the legislative session. So when they fight hard for these bills that help us, they see it because they're boots on the ground. They're right in there getting the big picture from the people that do this every day.
Well, and I will say this is the first time that we could remember that they were in Roswell. We had another group here a few years ago, but this particular committee, they were, one of the first times they were ever here. John Cena oversees that. Senator Bill Souls, I think, is the chair of that committee right now. Came in, did great work, and just had some really good informative sessions with them, kind of going back and forth, getting a little bit of inside baseball, from them, and look forward to some great relationships and continued work with that.
That's awesome. Good.
Board meeting last night. Started off with some pretty cool displays. Roswell High School FFA, Hollis Boardman, and the work that he's doing had some really cool metal art.
They're about to get busy.
Tell you what,
with fair season,
When you said the fair season, I just kind of stopped. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, we're about a week out from the fairs.
Yeah. And they just. They were able to come in. They made a sign for us right now that it takes like 4 people to pick up, but really, really cool. They have did a serviceman statue for the Veterans Assembly over at Roswell High. And had that, just kind of got an opportunity to brag on them a little bit.
Where's that home going to be? Is it going to?
That's going to go back with Roswell High. I don't know where.
They'll keep it somewhere in there.
Oh, they're going to keep that one safe. That's pretty cool. It's a serviceman and he's saluting, and it's just like a shadow.
Well, maybe we can put it in the education building at the fair for a week, and then bring.
I'll tell you what, we can do a lot of things. Yeah. I waved at the guy several times last night because I kept looking over, and I'm like, I just would see it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm
this guy keeps trying to get my attention. He's very.
If he ever going to talk, But then had an interesting update. So the Goddard High School Skills USA team went out to Atlanta, and we knew that, and took a group of kids out there. Had 4 sponsors. I think they had 6, 7 kids. Did phenomenal. I had one of the teams finished like 4th, 5th out of 50 in the nation. Super excited and got ready to come back, and flights are canceled. And then again, it's setting in Atlanta, and it's a Saturday. And how the heck? When are you going to get back? Well, come back and see us Monday. We'll start trying to find you a flight back home. Rented some cars, 17-hour drive, got back home, which created another item on our information list that we were talking as far as contingency plans.
Sure.
And we have lots of groups. We even in state, we have teams that get stuck because of weather overnight.
All the time, yeah.
That my board member, Mrs. Hilda Sanchez, had suggested. She says you need a procedure in place that doesn't matter who is in charge, it doesn't matter who knows who in a town. That you have things in place that you can say, if this happens, this is your go-to.
A resource for that, yeah.
So that a brand new sponsor or a coach or whoever can have that contingency envelope that says, if this happens, then this.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Call this. Yeah. So we're going to start working on that immediately and getting that set up. But,
good deal.
But, I got to think about that, and I was like, we have had a lot of that lately.
And just face it. Yeah, and that's always been, but even like when you get in air travel, let's face it, the world of air travel seems very spotty right now. Well, guarantees of places aren't as guaranteed as they used to be, at least.
I like to fly. I don't mind flying.
Yeah.
I just and you can't avoid Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's you would say, well, it's the summer. It's the crazy time of year for weather. I don't know that there's not.
Yeah, it's always like that.
And that's the chance you're taking for the convenience of flying down there and flying back.
Absolutely. But even like you said, you're right. Like I don't care how many. Every year during football season, especially when you get to playoff time, there's snow somewhere and some bus somewhere can't make it through or whatever. And I mean, that almost happens once a season somewhere in the state.
Well, Goddard girls basketball got snowed in last year in Farmington.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had another team somewhere else. But even a local trip last year, I mean, like a day trip down to Artesia, and we had a bus get caught in the the rumor was that they were part of the 15-car pileup that didn't turn out to be a 15-car pileup, and then the other piece to it is just good communication with the parents.
Absolutely, but just having that plan in place.
So,
by the way, it's also worked conversely. Remember when the Goddard football team helped out there was a car accident and they had to move some stuff, and the football team got out the bus and moved it, handle business. That was pretty cool.
That's funny you brought that up. I was on a rather long trip the other day, and it was not my turn to drive, so I actually pulled that post up on the Goddard Facebook page.
That's pretty cool.
So yes, quick update, something good. We have been negotiating with our insurance company on DeBrenham Stadium.
Okay.
Talked about it a little bit 2 months ago when I was in here.
Yeah.
Again, really didn't want to do anything detrimental to cause the insurance company not to take over. So we did get official in writing. I believe it was last Thursday that we could do a little more extensive cleanup than just blow the stuff out of the fence.
Oh, good. Okay.
So within 24 hours, the maintenance team was over there. They mowed it. They piled up a bunch of the nonsense and the junk. Had to wait until Monday of this week because the landfill had to dry out. If you drive by there today, it looks much better. We're still in negotiations. They've got bids out right now to resod it.
Okay.
And electrical work. So
is it going to be available for fall activities?
Not right now.
Okay.
As of right now, our fall football, which is the mid-school football, is all we play over there in the fall. Will be played at DeBrenham. We do that on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
The electrical, we're not sure on the electrical yet because the power has been killed from above.
Gotcha.
More ways than one. But as far as there's not a meter in I believe there is a meter, but there's not any power excels killed it. So we're working on that too to see the extent of what we've got.
Gotcha.
With that said, we've had a lot of rain and it looks really pretty. When that stops, again, we have no electricity to power the timer box that makes
it's going to get really brown.
So it has the potential to get brown, but we're going to keep it mowed. We're going to keep it maintained.
Sure.
Hopefully
Well, I did notice over the weekend. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's looking pretty good over there.
Well, and I'll just call it what it is. We got a lot of flack as far as why haven't you this and why haven't you that? And, I have stood in front of any group or entity and said just that, the city owns New Brenham, and God bless them. We have a very generous lease with the city, and part of that lease is that we'll maintain it.
But you can only go so far when it comes to this kind of work.
When you're, our insurance company had to come in and say basically that structurally sound, so that they would insure it for us, and then in addition, it kicks in, and now our insurance is picking up the tab to get that facility back.
Got it.
Which we are all extremely blessed for that.
Now, as far as the electrical side, is that something that the city's going to have to work, or is that still on you guys?
Well, what'll happen is the insurance company will come through, their inspectors come in, deem the transformer either safe or unsafe, and then I would assume Excel would decide, are we going to power up back down to the box?
I got you.
So that's kind of out of my pay grade. That's one of the things on my list is to...
Once that hurdle's crossed, then you can decide what to do next. Basically.
Right. And you know what? Mr. Edwards and I were talking about that, board member James Edwards, and he says, it may work. And I said, and it may. I said, I don't really want to be the one that throws the switch. But, I said, we're looking at that. I mean, we're not just automatically assuming that it's ruined.
Sure.
Fact is, I would hope that it's not, because that would bring the cost down.
It was, and it's a lot of water, and water and electricity don't mix.
I hear that.
And
I can do the tune.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't find out the damage till you get down the road there, and then that also got fried.
Well, and you think about, this sounds dumb, but when you say, well, the sprinkler system may have gotten wet, and you're just like, well, isn't that the whole job?
Right.
Isn't that the job of the sprinkler system? And it's like, yes, but it's not the job to set in water for multiple days.
Sure.
So, looking forward to coming back hopefully next month saying, hey, this is the start date. We're looking forward.
We got a good timeline on
to
this.
spring soccer, to spring whatever we're going to do over at New Brenham.
Okay.
They did deem the bleachers safe.
Good.
So that was huge, because once we found that out, everybody just kind of took a big sigh. It's like the rest of it's cosmetic. We can fix this.
That was a big hurdle.
Absolutely.
So. Good.
Let's see real quick. Shoot. Got to find page 4 here. Did a lot of end of the year stuff. As far as our action items, did get our contracts approved with both of our unions. Our CWA contract went forward and was ratified and board approved last night.
So no holdouts.
No. REA, God bless them. That was a labor of love on that one. This year was the full contract negotiation.
Okay,
so everything was on the table, and it did take a while. They were at it for multiple months.
But they got it hammered out. And
I tell you what, hats off, and I mean that. The salary schedules were TA'd. With enough time that come July 10th paychecks, everything should be set, so that when our teachers come back in August, that their very first check will be the same as their very last check.
Okay.
We're not going to have to do the
prorate and back.
We don't have to prorate it, and then so a year from now we come in and they say, well, how come I lost money? And it's no. Not because of this.
Just got it at a different time.
Right. But both sets of union negotiations went through.
Good deal.
Let's see. Devon Energy with a donation to Early College High School Aviation Club. Thank you, Devon Energy. They've always been very good community stewards with us.
Love that.
Our federal Title I, II, and III applications, Title I, II, Title V applications went through for board approval last night. We're watching. We're not real sure what some of our federal funds are going to look like. We know what they've told us, and obviously we're hoping that everything plays through like it's supposed to with that. So excited for that. Just conducting.
Keeping fingers crossed, everything goes as advertised.
Well, and again, we've talked about it lots of times. The business is doing business.
Absolutely.
And then did have a first reading on one of our policies. It's a new requirement by the PED that we will have some type of a class disruption / cell phone policy, and we've had that policy forever. Push it in other districts around the state to ban cell phones on school campuses, and I'm not a proponent. I'm not a fan of that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword right there, and because there is that mindset. When we were kids, we didn't need them, we didn't have them, but we live in a different world today than we did back then, and unfortunately, if one of these emergencies go down in a school, and I had a child in it, the first thing I want to do is make sure that kid's got his phone so I can get a hold of him.
Well, and it's amazing. Ironically, a lot of the times the kids will be looking at their phones, it's their parents texting them. Just a quick question. It's so easy to do now. But we've stuck with a little bit more of a building control type deal as far as
we should take away the parents' phones. Kids can keep theirs. The parents can't have theirs.
Well, and it's sad. I've only looked at mine about 11 times since I've been here.
Well, it's blown up. I mean, you get texts constantly. So.
But that does go back. I mean, there once was a time where you didn't, and you didn't have to, and I don't know if things were better or worse. I just know, as a group, I would like to think that we can work, collaboratively.
Find that happy medium,
so that parents can have an idea where their kids are. They have immediate communication with them, but that we teach the kids to be responsible young adults. That put it away.
You're here to learn. You're not here to converse with others. Yeah.
Right, but your watch, your glasses, where does it stop?
Oh yeah, I mean, technology
that
at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be an chip in our brain at some point, probably. But who knows? But yeah, you're right. It's going to continue to evolve and change and get easier or harder depending on how you look at it.
That's right.
No, but anyway, yes, policies in place.
We're ready. We are in compliance. Well, that is us in a nutshell right now.
Good deal. Of course, don't forget if you can always go back and watch these if you go to the RSD's website. There's a link for the YouTube video of not only last night's meeting but previous meetings as well. There, probably a few years worth if you're really bored. But
insomnia killer right there.
You want to get into the weeds and of course, like you said, if you have questions at this point, our principals and things, are they
next week?
Next week they'll start. So if you need to visit your school for things, probably next week you'll start seeing some of the admin setting up shop and moving in for the school year here.
Right.
I know teachers are right behind them. So.
Well, and again, August 4th is the kids' start date. It's interesting. I was at something and someone misspoke and said, "Well, I heard y'all start in July," and everybody gasped. And I said, "No, it's August." and everyone, oh, and I was like, the 4th. It's just, so don't get too excited. But again, that we wanted to change that because we did start last year on I think it was July 31st. It was super early. And from that point forward, it was just like, gosh, it just felt out of sync, even though it was only like 3 days sooner than what we would have started. But that was my thing. I said, we will not start before August. And based off of the current standards that the PED has for us right now, this is going to be the way it is.
This is probably going to be the model.
Well, as long as we're looking at 187 days, which is crucial for us for our funding, it's going to look something like this. The Thanksgiving break is really the wild card in this. Is do you wish for the full week or because this new calendar, we will come back. We will have kids in chairs after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
For at least one, I think it's 2 days if my memory serves me correctly. But that was the trade-off. That was the 2 days at Thanksgiving that was voted on by the group. And
sure. But it's maybe we should. When do you want to hold the vote? Because if you hold it maybe closer to this time of year, they're going to want the days. If you wait till the fall, they're like, no, Thanksgiving.
Well, and that kind of is the sad thing right there is that for the calendar gets voted on earlier so that it can get to the board because come January, I have people in my building that need the new calendar so that they can start setting up their schedules for the high schools for the next year. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm not really sure what's going to come. I'm going to be wrong, but whatever it is.
But I would predict frame of mind of when they do it. If like, well, yeah, I'd live an extra week off right now. Sure, that's what I want. Thanksgiving.
Right. Well, there was a group from Lovington that was at the LESC meeting the other day with a plan, and I met them afterwards, and I said, count me in. And it's more of your time versus the days, so that way we could hopefully pull some of that off because you're right. I mean, it is a haul, and they need some time off.
They do.
You need a day here and there, and you shouldn't have to burn one of your days just so that you can function.
This is true, but this is life. This is all of life. Everything gets faster, and like when's that part we're supposed to slow down? It seems like we just keep adding more here. But
every day.
But Brian, as always, appreciate the visit and anything else we can do, or if there are any outside of our normal visits that we need to come on and talk.
Sure.
Obviously, The next several weeks, people are going to start getting school right in their forebrains here. Matter of fact, they're probably already plotting back to school shopping as we speak here. So,
yeah. I saw a sign in a store the other day for back to school clothes, and I just kind of chuckled. Sorry, Kim, I can't.
Out go the pool fanoodles, and in come the notebooks and pencils. So,
yes, sir.
But thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. A police shooting in Carlsbad remains under investigation by state police. It happened Tuesday as Carlsbad officers were responding to a report of an armed robbery at the Stripes gas station on West Pierce. The responding officers reported seeing a man matching a description given by the clerk near North 6th and West Church Streets. When the officer tried to approach 43-year-old Gerald Barron, Barron fled on foot. And during the chase, Barron allegedly reached into a backpack. The officer fired his service weapon after giving numerous commands for the man to stop reaching into the backpack. Barron has since been flown to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. His updated condition is not known. Splash pads in Roswell at Pokhorn and Carpenter Parks are now open to the public. They're open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use of the splash pads, of course, is free. The Murphy family splash pad is at Pokhorn Park in the 600 block of East 2nd Street, and the Carpenter Park splash pad is at 300 East Buena Vista. The splash pads usually open each year around Memorial Day weekend, but the openings this year were delayed as parts were awaited and then installed to repair flood-caused damage. The repairs were recently completed, and the splash pads passed the required inspections, allowing them to open. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
If you've been on Google lately and typed in a question, most certainly you've come across the AI overview. Sometimes it nails the answer. Other times, not so much. I'm Kim Commando for NordProtect. Identity theft strikes every 5 seconds. NordProtect monitors your credit and the dark web 24/7. Save 65% right now at nordprotect.com/Kim. There's no button that magically makes the AI overview disappear, but you do have a few tricks. Say you're searching how to make super delicious banana nut muffins. Google's AI will try to serve you its recipe first. But maybe you want the best, straight from someone's grandma. Use quotes around your searches. That forces Google to pull from websites, not its AI. The second way is a little unusual. Add a curse word to your search. Instead of how to make the best banana nut muffin, say how to make darn good banana nut muffins. You want to replace the darn with any other naughty word you like. That should do the trick. Start your day with my free newsletter. You're going to love it. Sign up at getkim.com. Someone becomes a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds. That's over 75 million Americans whose lives have been turned upside down. Their bank accounts drained, credit destroyed, homes, cars, even medical benefits stolen. And you might not even know until it's too late. That's why I trust NordProtect. They scan the dark web and your credit 24/7, watching for any sign your identity's been breached. If they find something suspicious, you'll know fast before the damage spreads. You also get monthly credit score updates, so you can track changes before they spiral. And NordProtect doesn't stop there. They cover cyber extortion, reimburse you for fraud, and include up to $1 million in recovery support. You need protection, real protection. Get 65% off right now. It's my exclusive deal with NordProtect. I bet you'll save a ton of money if you switch today. Go to nordprotect.com/Kim right now. nordprotect.com/Kim.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A union representing thousands of city workers in Philadelphia and the city have reached a deal to end a more than week-long strike that halted residential curbside trash pickup. Nearly 10,000 blue-collar employees from District Council 33 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees walked off the job July 1st. The value of apparel imports from China to the United States fell in May to its lowest monthly level in 22 years, according to the latest trade data, highlighting the impact of steep U.S. tariffs. China has for years been the biggest exporter of clothes to the United States. President Donald Trump met with leaders from 5 African nations as he escalates a trade war that could impact developing countries reliant on commerce with the United States. Over 2,100 senior-ranking employees at NASA are set to leave. The agency has reportedly offered staff early retirement, buyouts, and deferred resignations. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. Stay tuned next hour. Amy McVeigh with the Historical Society will join us. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We'll be back on the other side of news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Nearly a week after deadly floods in Texas, scores of people are still believed to be missing. Search crews continue to scour miles along the Guadalupe River. In hard-hit Kerr County, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Baker says the well-being of first responders is a priority.
We process it the best we can. We have professionals in place, our crisis intervention team. All the agencies have some members representing there.
In southern New Mexico, crews are working to clear debris from streets and homes after monsoon rains triggered a flash flood in that state. A man and 2 children were killed when they were swept away earlier this week. It was another night of Russian drone and missile strikes against Ukraine.
President Zelensky said that Russia was stepping up its terror against Ukraine and the civilians, of course. We were woken up in the early hours of this morning by explosions. We could hear the screeching of drones and also the noise of the Ukrainian air defenses. Now, Russia launched about 400 attack drones last night and 18 missiles, and they were primarily targeted at the capital, Kiev.
That's the BBC's Charlotte Gallagher. Tariffs are getting personal for President Trump. He's singling out Brazil for import taxes of 50%, not for economic reasons, but because of Brazil's treatment of its former president, who is a friend of Trump's. During a closed-door interview with members of Congress, President Biden's White House physician invoked his rights under the Fifth Amendment and refused to answer questions about Biden's health while he was in office. The House Oversight Committee's chairman said Dr. Kevin O'Connor's refusal to testify makes it clear there was a conspiracy. Wall Street, the Dow is up 46. More at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Senate Democrats threaten a government shutdown if Republicans pass a $9 billion rescissions bill. We get the details from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
As lawmakers begin crafting their 12 annual appropriation bills to fund the federal government in fiscal year 2026, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has implied that his party will refuse to cooperate in the process if Republicans revoke billions in funding from previous years. The Senate is set to vote on a rescissions package that narrowly passed the House in June. Republicans only need a majority vote for the legislation to pass the upper chamber. But Schumer warned GOP lawmakers in a Tuesday letter that passing the rescissions package will have grave implications, such as Democrats blocking any government funding deal and risking a government shutdown. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The Trump administration has resumed sending some weapons to Ukraine a week after the Pentagon had directed that some deliveries be paused. Officials say the Pentagon move caught the White House by surprise. News and analysis at townhall.com. The U.S. is having its worst year for measles in more than 3 decades. Correspondent Bob Agnew has that story.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the U.S. has had 1,288 cases since the beginning of the year. That's higher than 2019, when there were 1,274 cases, driven by 22 outbreaks over 12 months. 17 states have seen outbreaks so far this year. If things don't improve, experts fear the U.S. could lose its status as having eliminated measles. There are also large outbreaks of the vaccine-preventable disease in Mexico and Canada. Buying the report.
A tentative agreement has been reached between Philadelphia and its city workers' union. Nearly 10,000 workers walked off the job July 1st. The strike disrupted trash pickup and closed libraries. The deal still requires union approval, but trash collection is scheduled to resume on Monday. Other services will also be restored. More stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Ah, yes. Welcome to it.
Yes. You know, I saw a funny bit on a TikTok video, and it was a lady on how to deal with phone scammers.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of funny. She gets in the person on the phone, and she's like, oh, okay, well, hold on a second. All right. And then she's like, all right, we're going 3, 2, 1. And we're back, and we've got the FBI on the phone, and we also have a potential scanner. What is your name again, sir?
And we're back.
But she does it in that news voice.
I'll have to remember that.
Did you see, and I can't remember what company did it, but somebody developed, essentially it's an AI chatbot, but the whole design is, it's a grandma.
Okay.
Whose whole thing is to confound scammers, to keep them on the phone so they're not scamming other people. Like, she keeps, well, I have the information right here. Give me just a second.
So just computers delaying each other.
Wasting their time. And they call it, it's like an army of grandma bots that this this company has put out to waste scammers' time.
Nice.
Kind of brilliant. I mean,
I'm just
hate
wondering
AI,
at what point is it going to be computers scamming computers? It's really just some computer farm over here is yelling and delaying some other computer farm over here.
Well, you're not that far off. There's something called dead internet theory. We've talked about it a couple times here on the show. Basically, it's you see all these AI images that are popping up on like places like Instagram, Facebook, and places like that. And the comments, are like, praise the Lord, amen. You said it, you're saying the hard, you're out here doing the hard work, but it's all bots. Like it's a bot creating content and then getting rewarded by other bots. And so it's basically like feeding itself.
Right. I know, like, I'm always suspect, like, say when you go to Amazon and then, and you go to look at the product reviews.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell the ones that are from actual people and versus, I don't know if it's just a bunch of folks in China that just fill these out or whatever they do. But,
or just the other people who created the company.
Yeah, like, start, padding the comments.
Let's spam our recommendations. You touched on something there, though, that every time I think about it, it makes me laugh pretty hard. One of if not the greatest places or pieces of literature that has ever been written is in the comments section of a product on Amazon. And the product is a 5-pound bag of Haribo sugar-free gummy bears.
Okay.
I'd have
Those
to
are the ones that cause diarrhea, right?
Oh, yes. Somebody left a comment that's like 5 pages long. And in it, they basically tell a harrowing tale of eating like a handful of gummy bears and the intestinal distress that they experienced because of this handful of gummy bears is it's epic.
Right.
It's a journey that they take you on.
Oh, I love those comments. Like, I'll never forget, because there was one for a minute, that banana hammock. You remember that? It was a thing you put on your kitchen counter to hold your bananas.
Yeah.
And the comments on that thing were epic. I didn't like bananas, but I wanted a banana hammock.
I'll put it this way. The title of the comment that this person left was "See you in hell, Haribo sugar-free gummy bears."
I feel like that guy's like looking for a job at some company, and that like that's just his resume. He's putting those.
I didn't realize those gummy bears caused intestinal
The sugar-free
distress.
one.
What it is
I hadn't heard that.
They have an ingredient called maltitol. See, of your fake sugars.
From the makers of Retsin,
That's right.
maltitol.
Maltitol or maltitol, it's depending upon
I thought that was
what
a
else uses
cocktail.
it. No, it's Molotov.
Oh.
See, now you got me off kilter. Let me explain something here. Science.
I'm Molotov.
The other one that does it is the Russell Stover sugar-free candies. But basically, that fake sugar causes intestinal distress. It basically causes things to just fly right through you.
That's why
It's
I'm a
diuretic.
Werther's man.
It's kind of like if you remember Olestra chips from back in the day.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I'm just a quick quote from the end of this. It took absolutely no effort to expel this demon. Almost immediately, the floodgates of hell were opened, and the damned liquefied souls of the entire bag's worth of gummy bears cried as they burned through my sphincter and into the watery abyss below.
Wow.
I had never felt such simultaneous relief and anguish in my life. After 30 more minutes of this, I immediately went home, dug a hole in my backyard, and burned the remaining bag of gummy bears. I leave with this. Do not, I repeat, do not eat these spawns of Satan. Not only do they cause me to fail my final test, but the anguish I experience is something I wouldn't wish upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. The only place these godforsaken hell bears belong is buried deep below the earth's surface.
Wow. Telling you, this guy's looking for a job with the Harlequin romance, because I mean his use of adjectives is quite well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Quite a writer. Very detailed.
Or I wonder if this guy's like John Grisham. He just does this for fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like some guy that's like already a famous writer, and he just goes under various pen names and does this stuff.
It's like R.L. Stein.
I got some people that I want to gift these gummy bears to.
She would give them to her worst enemy.
would.
Absolutely. But you know what? Here's the thing about that. You read that, and I understand the hell that this person went through. There's a part of me that kind of wants to try a couple of these bears and see what happens, The experimental side of myself.
He's like, let's play the Russian roulette this Saturday.
What's that? My daughter's birthday party? We're playing the feud. See what happens.
Good luck on that.
Yeah. Probably not the best.
Knocking them back.
But I know, this is where I'm going to sound like old man yelling at cloud. I know, we're in the middle of Prime Days or something, or is it still?
I think today is the final Prime Day.
Okay. I know people talk about it like it's a holiday. Is there anything that's been worth anything that's anybody?
There's been a couple of interesting items.
Right.
I've seen a few things that I'm like, ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. And the prices aren't awful. But here's the thing. They do the same thing around, the Black Friday and all that. They have the holiday Prime Days, holiday. And it's basically the same discounts, although deeper, because if you're looking for like a TV or something, that's when you're going to find the best deals is around the Cyber Monday area.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So how much money did we spend, Kim?
Well, let me tell you. I have a wish list on Amazon, and Alexa's been keeping me up on when the prices have dropped and deals.
Yeah.
I've already told you because I've had to buy a bulk of stuff for my classroom.
Yeah, I knew that part.
So I went ahead and put the order in.
Yeah.
We're about 150 in.
All right. I knew there was a number. I just didn't know what it was.
Put it this way, the box train is going to be arriving very shortly.
That's all for school stuff and things that the kids need.
No, I understand pencils, notebooks. Did you really need a magic bullet? Are you up there mixing smoothies?
I can do all kinds of lessons and teaching with whatever, as long as they have fun.
As long as I got my cocktail.
Why is there a hot tub on order?
I even have a karaoke mic.
That's awesome. Is this your karaoke mic?
No.
No. Unless the song is Tequila.
Yeah, I karaoke.
So is it one of those, the all-in-one sticks where you can like lock it into Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Those are cool. Those are fun.
Yeah. The kids have fun every once in a while.
But they don't work well as a regular mic.
No.
No.
Any mic that adds its own echo, it probably shouldn't be trusted.
Hello. You're right here, man. Put that thing down.
I've never understood that. Like, all karaoke machines feature it, is that echo.
Yeah.
And if you've ever watched, like, Korean karaoke,
because I do all the time.
Well, let me explain. I watched a documentary where it was actually a Vice documentary. This guy got to go to North Korea.
Okay.
Got to kind of do the sponsored tour and all that. And one of the things that they got to do to unwind is with their handler, at the end of the day, they got to go to the karaoke bar, which is a huge thing over there. But all of the mics are on like this horrific echo.
Reverb.
It's so bad. And the guy gets up and sings
Smelly Cat.
No.
Smelly Cat.
Anarchy by is it the Ramones?
Oh, Anarchy in the UK.
I am an antichrist. I am an anarchist. He finishes the song though, and they're all just like looking at him like, "What was that?"
When you were doing Smelly Cat, I got to share a story.
All right.
One of my lessons when I'm teaching grammar, and I'm introducing them to adjectives. Well, I introduce the song Smelly Cat.
Nice.
And we break down the different adjectives in that song to describe the cat.
There's really only one, though, right? Smelly, 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 really bad. Smelly, smelly, smelly. It's just smelly.
Smelly cat, what
are they feeding you? Smelly cat.
And then
it's
soft kitty, warm kitty,
That's a
little
good
ball of fur. So we do both of those.
Nice.
And we identify the adjectives.
That's a Big Bang Theory reference for it. People know the soft kitty.
But that's a good one because it's got soft, warm, little, happy, sleepy.
Well, and if you want to get into the deep cuts of Big Bang Theory, there's an episode where Amy sings it in multiple languages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think she sings it like German, Japanese. So if you want to get into the deep cuts.
He does, yeah.
But I take it our guest is here.
Indeed.
But anyways, I try to be creative
I like
when I
that,
can.
though. That's very, very... Honestly, the most I ever learned in school, like that I didn't teach myself, was through like song or like some kind of creative approach to it, So I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will join us here in just a bit. Doors, I heard the door go. It kind of sounds like, again, me being a radiophile, I used to listen to the Don and Mike show. It was one of my staples. And anytime Mike O'Mara was the guy who did the voices, and he was actually pretty good. But anytime he had he brought a new one in, they had this door, and it sounded just like that. So I hear that, I'm like, oh, somebody's
Anybody
here.
of a certain age will remember the sound of the AOL Instant Messenger. And it's, let me see if I can pull it up.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they may have stole that. That may have been the Don and Mike's one too, or vice versa, because Don and Mike did it before AOL did. They were around, so I say they stole it from Don and Mike.
Probably.
They probably stole it from the thing that where the Wilhelm
Did
screen
Mike
is
O'Mara ever have a "You've Got Mail" bit on his show? No.
No, he did a great Jack Kent cook. that had to be a DC thing, but he used to be the owner of the Redskins. He owned the Lakers. If you watch
I know who Jack Can't Cook is, but every time I hear you say his name, all I hear is Jack Can't Cook.
But Yan can cook. And you can too. By God, man. All right, it is 8:19. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 76 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 62% with winds out of the south at 12 miles per hour. We are, today and tomorrow, we're going to be warm and identical. Both weather forecasts sound very the same for today and tomorrow. For today, sunny and a high of 99 with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers, mainly overnight between midnight and 3 in the morning. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 72. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, I just read today's. It's very much the same. Sunny and hot, high of 99. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, 20% chance of showers. Mostly sunny, overnight low of 71. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. So today, tomorrow, highs around 100. 20% chance of rain both nights. For Saturday, our rain chance does increase, and the temps drop a bit, too. We are looking at a 40% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. Mostly sunny, 92 for a high with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms Saturday night and overnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. And then Sunday, we're looking at a 30% chance at rain, 87 for a high. That part I like, 87. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we're looking at 30% chances of rain. Highs right around 90, give or take. There's an 89 there, a 91 one day. But pretty much that's what we're looking at, around 90 with afternoon rain chances next week. All right, 8:21, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we will talk Historical Society business with Amy McVeigh-Tejas. Don't go away.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
As the Apostle Paul writes to his student Titus, who is ministering on the island of Crete, he encouraged the church to be ready to do whatever is good, to slander no one, to be peaceable and considerate, and always be gentle toward everyone. He also calls them to devote themselves to doing good for others. As I'm recording this, Roswell has just experienced another round of flooding rain. One of our members rescued some young people who were stuck on top of the roof of their car that had flooded out. It's times like these when I love the church where I serve, the people I serve with, and the community I call home. I've been humbled by the outpouring of help that people of Roswell have given to not only their friends and neighbors, but to total strangers. With all the craziness in this world, choose to make a positive difference. Choose to do good and help someone in need. And just remember, always be kind.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. We now carry Mayo Furniture. Not only is it proudly built in the U.S., but there are hundreds of custom options to choose from, including fabrics, top-grade leathers, nail head trim, and feet. The quality and construction stands apart from other brands in the industry, ensuring your satisfaction for years to come. Turn your living room into a reflection of your refined taste. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
Hey Roswell, celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0 down payment, 0% APR, and 0 payments for 90 days during the 000 sales event at Roswell Ford. Your friends at Roswell Ford make upgrading to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less super fun, super fast, and super easy. So if you're making payments on your current vehicle and want out early, Roswell Ford will do whatever it takes to free you from your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Right now, trade and upgrade to a new Ford for less with 0 down, 0% APR, and 0 payments for 90 days. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Celebrate huge American-made savings and more for your trade during the 000 sales event at Roswell Ford. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale, subject to lender approval on select vehicles. Offers not combined.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh is back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Things are good. I mean, yeah, we were talking, the flood and everything, but, things are in place. There, like I say, 100, this is something that Amy's always involved in, helping out wherever he can. I'm telling you, there's if you want to help out with the Ruidoso folks, there's a couple organizations on Facebook. I know, like Food Not Bombs. I think call the Health Council 211. They can steer you in a couple organizations. I think that money's going directly to folks that need there in Ruidoso.
Well, and we had a great group at the poll yesterday.
Yeah,
and we had our hymnals out.
I started the show. I said, we could probably use a few extra people to poll on. I said, with everything going on, 9 o'clock, join them out at the poll.
Well, I know we had 5 states. We had a lot of communities. We had Arizona and California and Texas and Colorado. We were all coming together to pray. I know my son's wife was down in Artesia. Artesia was praying. We pulled together and prayed. There were numerous pastors, and we're going to keep working together. Enrique with disaster relief was there, and one thing that I learned is that it's not too late to help his relief efforts going to Kerrville, but also they are doing a startup through disaster relief regarding Ruidoso, because we know there's supplies and stuff needing. So if you're not familiar with the great efforts and works of Enrique and disaster relief, you can call the Historical Society for more information on that. And you're right, at the end of the day, that's Lincoln County, and we were all originally. I mean, they're our family.
Absolutely.
And I stay on the phone with my son. It's not about one person. It's about us coming together.
We've talked about your son on the show multiple times, and of course, we talk a lot about his exploration. Cliff, he does a lot of that kind of stuff. But his day job is saving people's lives and doing that kind of thing.
And just so what I have to say, I'm going to put my character counts hat on. Our community is great to show up, but on behalf of the Historical Society, honor those badges. Honor all the individuals holding a badge. Respect that badge. Let's come together. Let's help. At the end of the day, if you put a smile on your face and honor and respect their integrity and character, we're going to get further in life. And this life isn't any easy anymore.
Well, anytime I always think about when these types of things happen, and yes, we see the the fire, rescue, EMS, law enforcement, everybody out telling people where to go or getting people out of situations. And every time I think about it, it's like, these people live here too. Who's taking care of their family right now while they're out here taking care of everybody?
Well, that's right. My daughter-in-law, my sweet little granddaughter's in Artesia, and they're safe. But, through these times, I am reactional. I was laying there going crazy thinking, I need to go to Ruidoso. I need to do something.
Right.
But we can connect. And you know what? It's just a lesson to be learned. We still have people right here in Roswell dealing from the flooding circumstance that were affected, cause and effect, still have a needs or whatever. It is never over. So on behalf of the Historical Society, we want to honor badges.
Yep.
We want to remind people that Ruidoso is Lincoln County, which is our family.
Well,
literally.
When Billy Kid was roaming
Lincoln
around, you guys were living in Lincoln
Yes.
County.
So when they are wounded, we are. But you know
Yeah.
what I also told, Alex started the conversation so positive yesterday. He said, Mom, there's sunny, blue, beautiful skies. And one thing you can help us do is remind people, stay away from things that aren't marked. But if you want to go to Ruidoso, you head up there and do safely. I know
Sure.
there may be some more rain coming this weekend, but also Midtown was open.
Yeah.
And they need
I'm sure
help.
those businesses could
restaurants,
use this.
yes, and don't be the looky-loo, if you will. Stay on the main roads, do what you'd normally do, and respect due process. And life does go on, and they're resilient. So, if of course, stay informed. I know they're doing wonderful things with those town hall meetings, really updating us. But if you were planning to go to Ruidoso, watch the weather, obviously.
Yeah.
Go to Ruidoso, help, get a meal or
and they're
do
going to
whatever.
take a hit, especially with the racetrack now. It looks like it's going to be done for the year.
Yes.
That's a huge draw for that
That's right.
community, which they're going to lose
That's
now.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, coming up there and, when we're tired of the 100s, go spend the weekend in a cabin up there
And if
support
you've had friends that have been affected or whatever, communicate directly with them and let's see how we can help.
Absolutely.
But we are in this together. Thank you for everybody that came to the poll yesterday, reminding individuals. We're only there 15 minutes. If you want to be there an hour, be there an hour. But
the polls are all day, so you can be there as long as you want.
You better believe it. If you want to go late or early, I mean, we can go early. Stop by the poll next Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Let's just remind what it's all about. We had a great group. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
that
it's a
showed
weekly
up.
gathering. We've talked about it on the show multiple times, but it really started a couple years ago with everything, and it's just evolved now it's just a place. And some, like I said, some weekends are busier or some weeks are busier than others just because.
Well, that's true. Whether there's one.
Yeah.
But now we've got our sweet little kids from the nursery across the street. They wave at me. I'm the praying lady.
There you go.
And that's a good thing. That's a great thing, actually. But
I was gonna say there's a lot worse things you can be known for.
but you don't have to attend. But if you're driving by, yes, we're praying at the poll and you're welcome. And to entice, Tom Blake had his guitar, and we had hymnals. And somebody took a hymnal on, was having a hard afternoon.
Straight up have church
and
on
they
the pole.
sang.
Wow.
They sang all afternoon. Point is, I'll entice people if you love to hear Tom Blake sing. Who in the heck doesn't like to hear Tom Blake sing? But he was singing and we had some hymnals. So
I still think of Roswell event's not official till Tom Blake sings at it.
absolutely not. You better believe it. That's right. But we have a lot of things going on. Thank you to everybody that showed up for the 4th of July. Thank you for the support of the Galacticon and everything. Thank you to Elaine and Galacticon. We had a great weekend. Our weekend's flowing through this. We've had quite a few visitors, fun things. Had some people that said, we were too busy, didn't get to come to the 4th. Do you have anything left? We do. We have flags. Show up today, this afternoon. Give us a call. We're always going to celebrate the flag. You know me,
Absolutely.
Mike. We've got the flags out. To me, Independence Day is every day.
Absolutely.
We should celebrate it every day.
Matter of fact, you know what? Because we still do our by appointment for tours and visits. This Saturday starts farmers market downtown here.
Yes.
Maybe get up
That's
early,
right.
do some farmers market, and make an appointment. Say, hey, let's go tour the museum afterwards.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
For people listening, or we have been. Our signs have been out daily. If you're saying it's only by appointment, we're offering appointment because we had some people that needed to come early in the morning, and it wasn't Fred, but we did come early. So our sign's been out daily. There are times our sign may not be out. We've got circumstances, but stop by, drive by, give us a call. Anything we can do to help you. We've been renting the archives, Mike. We've found some. So if you want to rent the archives, need more information, call 622-8333.
Great meeting
We have
place.
found some. The requirements is a rental and a very basic insurance policy to protect. We found economical insurance insurance coverage. So call 622-8333 if you need more information about the archives.
Absolutely.
Because it's been.
And it's got a kitchen and everything. I think the fire marshal's like 75 or something.
We can feed, if you want it, we're working on a formal occasion coming up, and we're going to feed about 50.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's comfortable for a formal sit-down, china, silver, tablecloth, linens, buffet
enough room
kind
to do
of
that.
thing.
And the
we
kitchen,
can squeeze in more, but...
And the kitchen's a home kitchen, but you can cook. You can cook.
Yeah, for sure.
You can feed 50 out of there if you're having lasagna.
And we've got
something,
the tables, we have the chairs, you can get the linens. So if you need more information about that,
And by the way, it's got
622-8333.
some pretty cool, historic art and things.
Oh, yeah,
as
we've got
you
some
dine in.
display. So if you haven't been recently, we took down some of our art because we're working on some new stuff.
Yeah.
But we're a blank palette. We're doing a lot of work in there and doing some great things.
But there's always new stuff up there and things coming. The archive committee does a great job, Elaine and John and them, to go, kind of keeping that fresh.
Elaine and I were on the phone last night. What are we doing next? Yeah. It's almost fall. What do we need to do? And she's like an artiste. And then we all start doing art and painting our little palettes. So we've got some great things coming up.
Quick plug for them. If you want to be a volunteer, maybe like, well, I'm not good at giving tours, but I love cataloging and I love doing or computer work and the archive folks would love to have volunteers. You can come down and then. You do get to kind of go places where no others get to go.
Well, that's true.
Necessarily.
We had some guests yesterday, and I was showing them things that it's not part of the normal tour.
Yeah.
We had a teacher. She was doing some training and stopped by. She said, hey, I've got some extra time before school starts. Can we volunteer? But I want to remind people, it reminds me of trying on shoes, going down to Tunings years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We need you to stop by and try us on, if you will. We need to show you the different departments. We want the right fit. We don't want, like you had said, we don't want you doing something you prefer not to do.
Sure.
But I am going to tell you something. We have so much fun. If you say you generally don't like to give tours, we have so much fun. I can tell you, everybody that says I don't like to do tours,
end up loving doing it. Right. It's the thing they feared most is now the thing they love most. Yeah, I get that.
Well, because you can't not love it.
Sure.
And if you're not a real outgoing person, we've really developed personalities. Maybe we're into developing leadership because we work it in.
Or if you're having aspirations to be like a stand-up comic, maybe you can start
we'd have fun.
working as a tour guide.
Like the Hysterical Society on Fridays, the Mike Winners.
There you
get
go.
you laughing, talking about food. I like it.
Of course, I don't know if all the facts will be accurate on that particular tour. Yeah.
Well, and then we say if you don't know for sure, we don't say. We don't do those fishtails or whatever.
Well, that's
we're open for that. We are. And we want you to have the right fit. We don't want you to do something you don't want to do. But just like Robin, just like Fred, some of our regular volunteers are doing the thing they said they'd never do. They said, I want to be in the back, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Now they're doing tours.
That's right.
Doing all those
they want to be
things.
wallflowers, and now they're stars of the show.
We always love to sell books. We got hot off the press.
John's
I
latest.
just got it in yesterday. John LeMay, I know Donna's new one's on the way. Haunted, Lincoln County, New Mexico. John's out of town, by the way. But hey, I'm going to send John, if you're listening, I'm going to send the check for this marketing promo. No, I'm just kidding. This is hot off the press, and we can get it autographed. If you do not have John LeMay's newest Haunted, Lincoln County, New Mexico, we have them at the museum.
We do have
got
ours
a box
now.
in,
Awesome.
only $22. John's out of town, but he'll be back in town. I guarantee we could get it autographed.
Absolutely.
And Donna's on the way. So that's a fun new book. We're going to do some promotions, some fun things.
And then
give us a call.
And don't forget, if you've never read John or Don or either of their authors' books here, Donna's or John's, go check out our website, our RoswellNMHistory.org website. You can kind of see not only their latest books, but some of their other.
Well, that's right. And Elvis and Joyce McCollum.
Oh, yeah. There's many others as well, too.
Oh, for sure, because we were somebody said just the other day, what does Elvis have to do with the Historical Society? Well, you know where I'm going with that. I was thinking it's Elvis Presley, and I need to dig something out because that'd be really good, too. Well, there are some unique connections, but Elvis Fleming is our legacy historian.
Absolutely.
We have his books. Joyce McCollum's got some fun books. We've got so many more authors, and we're always welcome to.
When they do the Elvis thing, I would have talked about. We love Elvis Costello. just go with the other Elvis.
Oh yeah, see, it's so we've been linking. Well, you know what? We've been doing a lot of Captain Joseph C. Lee talk lately too. So we're on Lee Street, Captain Joseph C. Lee. So having a lot of fun, play off of history, and that's something we can do. I mean, we've had thousands of people this past weekend. If we can send them with these historical facts too, digging deep in. But we have some fun things going on. I need to mention.
Yeah, we have some events coming up.
Because I can't believe they're going to be here. I can't believe we're already at July 10th, full moon night. I can't believe that.
Kids will be going back to school in a blink of an eye.
Yes, because we've already been working with the school district on that event coming up, I believe, on August 1st. I'm sure you'll be on the radio talking about it. The family night.
Yeah.
We're working with that. We'll have a booth there. I can't believe they're calling saying, okay, you're going to set up. I'm like, it's time. It's almost time. But Texas Roadhouse night, July the 22nd. That's in a couple of weeks. Mark your calendars. Have date night, dinner night. Bring your neighbor. Treat your neighbor somebody.
That'll be not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after.
That's right.
Yeah.
So July the 22nd. That is 3 to 10. Somebody said they had to work late. Listen, guys, I stay late there. They're open 3 to 10. So if you want to come early and get the good deal meal before 5 or whatever,
Although,
or if you want to go late.
Amy's had about 4 steaks at that point, so she doesn't talk much. But she just points and says,
my grandson usually comes with me, and he jokingly says, sometimes it can get a little rowdy after like 9 o'clock or whatever. But
Look at all that meat churning in my gut, man.
And let me say that, and I appreciate you. Whether I am there or I've had enough steaks and I go home, you can still show this flyer whether I'm there or not, and we'll still get the credit.
Absolutely.
So that's good. But July the 22nd, we're filling up our blood drive. I'm very driven to fill up our blood drive. They need blood.
I would imagine with all these disasters going on around the state, not just the flooding here, but in other parts, blood is probably dangerously low on supplies. And again, I always say this every time is, to be honest, the biggest draw of blood for United Vitalant, for any of the blood services, are high schools. Because, they get so many students that donate blood. Well, guess what? We haven't had high school in a couple months.
Right.
So the shells are, so they need to fill those voids.
That's exactly right. So Tuesday, August the 12th, 12 to 4, you can call me at 622-8333. If you've donated in the past, I can literally schedule you right there. We even had some people going out of the country. That was asked. A lot of travels, even internationally, are fine. So give us a call. We want to fill that blood drive up, save lives. Mike, we've been doing this now for 4 years. And, and we have had 12 or 14 blood drives. And I was trying to do the math. That is a lot of blood and a lot of lives saved.
A lot of gallons.
So I am proud to say, I hope, and if you're not into it, at least share the word. We're in the business of saving lives.
I bet we could come close to filling a milk truck at this point.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. And we have our regulars on the board. Some can't, and I respect that. But let your family know, individuals. I know I love to see those cords at graduation for young kids. And I do. Hey, if you're listening and you are high school students and you need the donations for the cords, which I love that, you can still donate.
Absolutely.
It's in the summer, and they'll be back in school by the 12th anyway. But we love it. And like I said, Roswell Independent School District is really good. They sneak over and donate, too. So.
And I always love, every once in a while, I'll talk to the folks from Vitalant, and they'll bring in some of their regular donors have been donating, and literally some people they literally got like 20-gallon pins where they've literally donated.
Well,
like
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Mike, as a coordinator, you'll see, and we have some that are in triple-digit donors because, like, by their name, I'll see like 88.
Yes.
We have a lady that's in the hundreds, and I get goosebumps thinking. That individual has donated over 100 times.
Yeah.
Jason Garcia's mother is one. I'm calling her out, and Miss Garcia in a positive way. She is almost into triple digits.
Her blood's running through a lot of.
That is amazing.
Her blood's running through a lot of people in New Mexico.
And I know that's
awesome.
private information.
Sure.
But my goodness,
that's
so
awesome.
If part of your routine life is putting on your calendar Vitalant, and you're healthy and you're sharing that is the ultimate gift. And that's amazing. And I saw Stephanie Seabreeze, by the way, because she used to be our Vitalant.
She was our
and she was over there having a great time during the 4th of July or whatever. And you know what I love? She's still representing, saying, you're still doing blood drives, aren't you? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. We continue with that well intention. So support the Historical Society and the great things that they do. And if you can't show up on August the 12th with ours, they always have events going on.
Yeah, they got
because they were even part of the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, I would say at least 2 times a week you could probably find them
they're
somewhere
always
donating, or if not, or at the Vitalin office doing it.
Now we're going to get to the good stuff because it's your favorite talk about, and it's food.
Yes, the Heritage Dinner Time. That's right around the corner too.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So some fun news that we have. We, if you go to RoswellNMHistory.org, we have all the wish lists open.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say, Amy, for whatever reason, I can't afford a dinner box, whatever, you can make donations. But we want to encourage people to go online right now and see of ways they can help all 4 organizations that we're celebrating.
Pick kind of legacy.
Legacy
groups
of
that
hope.
have
Legacy
have
of
been doing this for many, many years in our
community. For sure.
Yeah.
So if you, I hope you by now have seen our beautiful poster.
Yes.
They're ordained by the stained glass that's in the museum. Beacons of Hope 43rd Annual Heritage Dinner. We're honoring Assurance Home, Community Kitchen, Harvest Ministries, and Poor Clare Monastery. And this event is on August the 26th. Make your reservation by going online. I had somebody yesterday call me and say, I don't like to do the online thing. Why are you making us? You do not have to go online to make your reservation.
Yeah.
And honestly, you could save some money because you generally do this. You'll write a check, and that saves us $4 or $5, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So if you're thrifty and you know every penny counts with me, I'm fine with you writing a check, mail a check, but call us first and say, hey, I'm Amy. I want a reservation box for 1. Can I send you a check? Absolutely. That helps us get $5 extra.
Absolutely.
You do not have to go online. We just want that convenience.
Well, sure, it'd make it easy for people.
For sure.
But by all means, you want to come by or, like I said, get in touch with you and meet up and get a check or whatever, we can make that
We're
happen.
working with Peppers. We need sponsors. You can sponsor our bags. We want some fun bags and things. Mike, I'm happy to say we have some event sponsors that have sponsored food and meal and bundles and groups already.
Yeah, good.
And
love that.
If you're listening and want to impact lives, call the museum, buy a bundle. We could donate it to our volunteers or volunteers for all of these organizations. So let me give you an example. All of these organizations have volunteers. So if I have somebody listening, they donate a bundle. And let's, for example, we donate a bundle in Honor Harvest Ministries, and they get to provide meals for 5 to 10 of their volunteers. That is what we're looking.
Absolutely.
It is not for the Historical Society, which we have great volunteers too. Equally so, all these organizations. So if you say, I want to donate a bundle, I want one for myself, but share it with Harvest Ministries, Community Kitchen. I think some of us all have a personal relationship with one of these organizations or another.
Impacted directly.
That's exactly. So call us. We do need some sponsors, as always.
Absolutely. And just so you know, we can deliver the bundle.
For sure.
Like now, the only thing now a box contains 2 meals.
That's right.
So
Dinner
we can
box.
deliver up to 5 different locations.
That's
so
right.
That's how it works.
That's right. If you buy a bundle.
So you can say, all right, well, I want to give a box to so and so, another box to so and so, another box. We absolutely can do that. We can't break it down past 2 meals, but up to 5 different ones, and that's what you get with a bundle is 10 meals.
That's exactly right. Or if you say, Amy, we want to buy a box, but we want to pay it forward a box. Boom. That we get that often. I know every time we do this, we pay it forward a large amount of meals just by honoring others. So if you're able to make a donation to us, any of these organizations, pay it forward meal. Had Sweet Judith yesterday came to buy a meal not for herself, paying it forward. Love people like that. So
absolutely. We get so many people that, they just literally, I think there's a few times like, well, I can't eat. I might want a real strict diet, but you know what? I want to help and I want to do this.
Or if you buy a dinner box and you don't know if you're going to be in and out of town, you find out you're not, we'll be happy to deliver it to somebody else. The RSVP date is July the 28th.
Yeah, we're down to about 2 weeks here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if something happens, we'll still be taking orders after. As all events, we want to have numbers just to give an idea to Peppers. Out of respect for Peppers.
I'll say Peppers, it's a little easier now than probably was a couple years ago. That being said, it's still expensive, and they got to order enough and this and have it in at the right time, and if we keep adding it to the last minute, he's going to run out at some point. Oh, by the way, he's got to run his day-to-day operation of whatever they normally buy for their restaurant. So.
Mike, I am going to tease if the listeners. I'm going to tease them. If you're not a foodie, right? Not everybody's foodie, right? I mean, some people.
I mean, we all need food. At
come
some
on
point,
now.
But
I'm going to throw out a teaser. These little blessing bags are going to be really cool, and you and I talk about this all the time. My creative mind I love to make
This
people
is your jam.
want.
Yep.
This is, but we have some really special things this
Nice.
time. And if you want to purchase a bundle, it's something really special regarding stained glass.
Oh,
we
nice.
had so. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. We've talked a little bit about that in the past.
In the
Yeah.
blessing bags, there are going to be things you've never received before, and you're not going to. So in this regard, you snooze, you lose.
Gotcha.
So somebody called me and said, Amy, I can't attend the event. Can I make a donation, and could I get a bag? You're absolutely right. You could get a bag. So if you don't buy food but want a bag and you make a donation, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you will not get what's in the bag other than this opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, and we are beacons of hope.
And I would
We
also
wanna be
invite you
that one.
too is if you're not familiar with the organizations we're honoring here, maybe you're not.
yes.
Please reach out. We would be happy to tell you more
for
about
sure.
it. You know, the work of really any of them, the Assurance Home, the Monastery, Harvest Ministries, Community Kitchen, all the
yes.
above are amazing, and they've been doing it for a long time. And if you're wanting to learn more about
are.
that, or and I'll tell you this. Almost every one of them could probably use more volunteers, more
my
people to be involved,
goodness.
and all of those organizations are great ways. Matter of fact, it's funny we mentioned it. Harvest Ministries, that they've been around so long,
Yes.
but they have, to be honest, they've been pretty good on volunteers for so many years. They've got a steady, stalwart group. But here's the rub: their steady, stalwart group is getting a little older, a little more not available. So they're not. They need new batch. They need more people. So they were just a couple months ago coming in saying, hey, I know we haven't asked for a while, but we need volunteers. So
For sure.
Please reach out. And that's just one of them. I know Assurance Home, same way, Community Kitchen.
Yes.
I mean, they matter of fact, if you're already in another organization, you could get your whole organization just working a meal
Oh, that's
over
so
at the
true.
yeah.
That's so true. Well, and I think I'd love to just kind of do a challenge. Go online and once a week try to cover something on one of the group's wish lists.
Yeah.
It's simple. We all go to, whether I do the Sam's Run every week or the grocery store, make an intentional effort just to get something and go buy. The other day I took cookies to Assurance Home and I'm looking around thinking, I haven't been here in years. This is amazing.
I gotta be
I was
honest.
greeted with 2 young kids.
Since Leadership Roswell for me.
Mike, it's just so amazing.
Yeah.
And Community Kitchen is another one. They welcome people to come in. If you do nothing but walk in and see what they're doing,
Sure.
I think there's just. I know we all think we know what we know. No, you don't. If you've not been to these organizations, including us, just the other day I had a lady
Absolutely.
drive up to a museum and said, I haven't been here in 20-something years. We evolve, we change, we have needs. And Roswell always does come together. Beacons of Hope, August 26th.
Yes.
This is an event we need to come together. At the end of the day, the Historical Society wants to celebrate Beacons of Hope.
Yep.
And you and I both know with everything in the world going on, there's always hope.
Absolutely.
And the more we can share hope and bring light to others, that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. So please, the 28th is the deadline to get your reservations in for your box or bundles here. RoswellNMHistory.org. You can call the Historical Society, shoot an email to Amy here, history director at outlook.com.
Yep.
Or just come on by, knock on the door, and
Bring your loose change.
and
We're
bring-
still doing that.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody
gotcha.
mentioned that.
Absolutely.
We're still doing loose
we
change.
love that. I'm telling you, usually because this will be another drive-through event like our previous ones, but people come through to get their tickets for their meals or whatever, and then they come with this big mayonnaise jar full of or a Ziploc bag full of coins and stuff. We love that, and especially when. Because usually a lot of times you get kids involved with that. The
It's
kids,
true.
The next thing you
They
know,
have
they got this
fun.
big can full of pennies.
Cleaning out the vehicles.
And they're
Almost everybody has change in your vehicle.
and they're so proud to give it to you because
for sure.
it's a cool
lot of
moment. So we do appreciate those,
Yep.
and we actually get several $1,000s a year just by people giving us cans of change and things like that all the time.
Yes.
It all goes back into the works and the projects and the educational side of everything.
Yes.
with the historical side.
No, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Memberships are still going on. We just want to be involved. You Challenge group. Next group's coming in a couple of weeks. If you're listening and want to be part of those scholarship endeavors, somebody said, "Are you ever done giving scholarships?" Well, I hope not.
Yeah.
But as for 2025, we have completed the high school and college scholarships. We have not completed scholarships because New Mexico You Challenge will have another group that will graduate in December.
Gotcha.
If you want to be part of that, call the Historical Society at 622.
Do they get I'm sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
But do they go through 2 cycles a year?
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
gotcha.
So we graduate usually in June-ish, and then Decemberish. So they go through 2 groups. They've kind of been on their, they never stop. It's the well-oiled engines never stop. But it's August. They'll start again, and then they'll graduate in December. So that next group.
So basically, they have like a January or February till mid-year, and then the second group.
Yeah, and so we had a great group, had over 10 scholarship recipients in the last group. And I'm just thinking, because your sweet wife's in education, I was looking at the calendar. The RASD event is on August the 1st, and it's at the Aquatic Center. And I know that we'll have a booth. So I just want to encourage people to get involved. If you need more information, call the Roswell School District. They're doing great things and want to get families involved.
Yeah.
And we're happy. Again, that's part of our family, too. From 4th graders to middle school to history to whatever. So August the 1st. So any way we can help any organizations, and I just want to end with this. I was driving over here, and somebody was just mentioning the other day, we only help certain organizations. Guys, we are always willing to help any organization.
What we know is what we help.
If you're impacting lives, we're in that business. We want to celebrate history. So if you're another organization that needs help, wants us to partner with, wants us to go speak, we are always willing to do historical presentations, go to organizations, partner with other people. The list is long and distinguished, and you know me, I'd fill up the calendar and help a different organization every week, month, whatever.
Kind of kill 2 birds with one stone situation, where it's like, hey, we can benefit each other by doing this thing that way. We both, and that's
City, and you and I serve on the chamber board. Yeah. We're just in the business of helping others, celebrating our community, impacting history.
Absolutely.
So if you're a part of a different organization and needs help or partnership, call the museum at 622-8333. Any way we can help, we're honored to do that.
And then don't forget, your deadline is coming up here the 28th for the Heritage Dinner to get your reservations in for that. Also, don't forget RoswellNMHistory.org if you want to purchase any of the books we were talking about. Peter Hurd prints, we still, that's always part of our thing. And
I'm
going to
end on
stuff.
ball. So we've got some great games going on at the Invaders, right? And the Glow.
They're doing a fireworks show here.
Yes. So follow Invaders, support Invaders. I believe tonight is Grace Night at the Invaders game.
I know E&MU night they're going to be doing a fireworks show.
And then I know that Christina Arnold had sent information regarding it is the here we go. UFO baseball, July the 11th, and that's the Roswell Fire and the Roswell Police. So July the 11th, 6:30 Glow game.
Okay.
That is so cool. Glow game at 9 o'clock. I've never been to a Glow game. So I know you can follow Invaders. And so,
absolutely.
So support them. That's part of history. Joe Bauman Stadium and everything.
I guarantee you're going to have a fun night at the ballpark.
That's fun. Yeah.
Well, as always, appreciate the visit.
I appreciate you.
We
Thank
will
you very
see
much.
you next time. And stay cool or warm or dry or wet or whatever's going to happen the next couple of days.
Just stay cool.
Yeah. Like Fonzie. There's going to be a couple Fonzies up in here. Stay cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. All right. It is 8:56. Let's pause for news, and we can do a Red Apple market update before, more news. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley news updates, I'm Jared Sorello. A police shooting in Carlsbad remains under investigation by state police. It happened Tuesday as Carlsbad officers were responding to a report of an armed robbery at the Stripes gas station on West Pierce. The responding officers reported seeing a man matching a description given by the clerk near North 6th and West Church Streets. When the officer tried to approach 43-year-old Gerald Barron, Barron fled on foot. And during the chase, Barron allegedly reached into a backpack. The officer fired his service weapon after giving numerous commands for the man to stop reaching into the backpack. Barron has since been flown to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. His updated condition is not known. Splash pads in Roswell at Pokhorn and Carpenter Parks are now open to the public. They're open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use of the splash pads, of course, is free. The Murphy family splash pad is at Pokhorn Park in the 600 block of East 2nd Street. And the Carpenter Park splash pad is at 300 East Buena Vista. The splash pads usually open each year around Memorial Day weekend, but the openings this year were delayed as parts were awaited and then installed to repair flood-caused damage. The repairs were recently completed, and the splash pads passed the required inspections, allowing them to open. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston. Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops are getting a new owner. Italian candy maker Ferrero is buying W.K. Kellogg. It's a deal valued at approximately $3 billion. The Michigan-based cereal company has been an American institution for more than a century. Tariffs are getting personal. President Trump has announced 50% tariffs on imports from Brazil. He said he's imposing the hefty trade taxes because of the country's legal charges against its former president, who is a friend of Trump's. Applications for unemployment benefits fell last week, remaining in the historically healthy range of the past couple years. The Labor Department said this morning that jobless claims fell by 5,000. Meanwhile, the total number of Americans collecting benefits rose by 10,000, the most since November of 2021. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Search crews and volunteers in Texas are still looking for the more than 160 people still believed to be missing from the July 4th flash floods. The death toll has risen to at least 120. Andrews County Assistant Fire Marshal Jeremy Proffitt says North American neighbors are helping in the search for flood victims.
We have crews from Mexico here. We have crews from Canada that have come in and are assisting us. And every week it'll be cycling through. Every day we see cycles of different departments coming in.
Trash pickup in Philadelphia should be resuming next week after the city and the workers' union reached a tentative agreement. More than 10,000 workers went on strike last week. More bloodshed in Ukraine as Russia's military continues to bombard the Ukrainian capital.
The sound of a Russian missile pelting towards Kyiv was caught on camera by an AP reporter. Russia pounded Ukraine's capital with another major missile and drone attack overnight into Thursday. The strikes caused fires in areas across the city, killing 2 people a day after the heaviest aerial attack of the 3-year war so far. I'm Karen Shamas.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. and Russia have exchanged new ideas for Ukraine peace talks after he met with his Russian counterpart in Malaysia earlier today. He said they discussed a new and different approach, although he did not elaborate. Rubio said President Trump has been increasingly frustrated with Russia's Vladimir Putin. Last week, the Pentagon paused the delivery of some weapons to Ukraine, but now President Trump has directed the resumption of sending military assistance. Officials say the White House was caught off guard. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Victim to scams that promise good pay for completing easy online tasks.
The Federal Trade Commission says the scams start innocuously, often with a tailor-made text or WhatsApp message. The tasks seem legitimate, but victims are then told they need to pay money to access their earnings. To avoid falling victim to these scams, ignore unexpected messages, never pay to access your pay, and avoid accepting positions where you rate, like, or leave phony reviews for products or services. Keith Peters, Washington.
The Los Angeles Fire Department says 31 workers have been safely removed from an industrial tunnel after part of the structure collapsed. The workers were up to 6 miles away from the tunnel's only entrance. Officials in L.A. say no one had major injuries. News and analysis at townhall.com. Robot umpires are set to make their in-season debut on one of baseball's biggest stages.
Major League Baseball plans to use its robot umpire technology for ball strike challenges in Tuesday's All-Star game at Atlanta. Another step toward possible regular season use next season. Teams won 52.2% of their ball strike challenges during the spring training test, with 617 of 1,182 challenges successful in the 288 exhibition games using the automated ball strike system. An animation of the pitch was shown on video board showing spectators the challenge results. I'm Geffen Coolbach.
Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops getting a brand new owner. Italian candy maker Ferrero is buying W.K. Kellogg in a deal valued at about $3 billion. The Michigan-based cereal company has been an American icon for more than a century. More at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, welcome to it. And by the way, Mike and I didn't plan this.
Oh.
The shirts.
Oh.
We didn't plan. Last week we did this too, accidentally. Yeah. We both just ended up wearing
Thursday,
a red shirt.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be Fridays. Remember, everyone deployed is on Fridays. Red is Fridays.
Well, we missed that boat.
Yeah. We weren't here last Friday, so we couldn't pull that off.
Well, the fun thing is I always used to wear red on Thursdays, and John's like, no, you wear it on Fridays. And I was like, oh.
It was the shirt that I grabbed.
Same.
See, y'all's brains are meshing.
Too much time together.
That's
is that a good thing or bad thing?
I'll be honest, I saw him pull up this morning, and I went, oh, he did it again.
But happy Thursday. Apparently it's Red Shirt Thursday.
Red Shirt Thursday.
At least around here.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, from the makers of Taco Tuesday. Red Shirt Thursday. Happy Thursday, of course. With the, it's kind of this weird, like, it's gonna be like 100 today, and I'm cool with that. But I'm also like, Sunday's like, and I know rain's not exactly, it literally is a 4-letter word right now. But the fact that it's gonna be like 87 with a 30% or 40% chance of rain this weekend, I'm not lying. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Well, 30 to 40% chance though. I don't reckon we'll get a lot of heavy cloud cover.
True.
If we get a storm, it'll probably just something will sweep in and sweep back out.
Try my cabin from hour 1. work on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed that
Pontoons and
conversation. Pontoon harpoon cabin.
That's right.
I designed
and of course, the particle disintegrator.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, you need that.
A proton cannon.
Well, because there's going to be logs and stuff floating. You gotta
Right.
take it
Dude,
out.
that is one of the hardest videos to watch. Like, I've seen all these different videos. The one where the water's coming up on, in the Ruidoso videos, the water's coming up on the bridge, and basically all of the debris that's in the water dams up the, the river and the bridge.
Yeah, it's usually like what damages things. It's not,
Right.
you know, the thing, if you're floating in it, you're kind of going with the flow. It's what's coming to hit you from the flow that messes with
It's
it.
like the Ron White bit. It's not that the water's flowing, it's what's flowing in the water.
Exactly. It's the cow in the tornado that's going to kill you.
It was a real PTSD moment because I flashed back to, you know, when we had our flood right there by the zoo on Atkinson. There's that bridge that goes over the road, and there's that pipe that goes across that bridge, and all of that debris, including like a telephone pole, got wedged.
And a gigantic tree.
Yeah.
Well,
got wedged in that.
If you remember
area.
when I was talking about the camp story the other day about with the flooding of the camp we lost, well, that was the reason why we lost the lake for the summer, was the debris going down the river broke the dam, and the gates were stuck open, and because they opened them to flooding.
Let the water.
So they were open, and the logs and whatnot jammed it up, and it got stuck open, and guess what? It kept draining, and it turned what was the lake and back to the river in which it formerly started. So, yeah, the debris is usually what does the van damage at the end.
Well, the last flood that we had where it affected up north, Abby lives on the north end of town right off the Brendo River, and she was sending me videos, and you could just see like large trees and groups of huge debris that's just flowing down the river, and it widened the Brendo River. They lost part of their acreage to that flood. Like it was knocking and opening up the riverbed even more.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's that erosion moving the dirt.
Yeah, it will change the...
And
water will move mountains.
It is very powerful. Like I watched one video of the wall of water coming in, and literally just a tree snapping.
Oh yeah.
Like, and we're talking like
I saw a video
thick
recently
tree.
from Ruidoso. One of our friends has a cabin, or her dad has a cabin up there, and they went after the first flood to go try to help get stuff out. Well, they got stuck in the cabin while they were there, and she had sent a video, and you just see like a wall of like mud coming down, and then trees, and then just trees, doof, 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 snapping.
It's literally like watching like 2012 or one of those apocalyptic.
It was. I was
type
like,
movies.
what am I watching?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it reminds me of. Is one of these. But that's it's crazy. That's the thing that they're doing. But as we were, when I was talking with Amy and some of the stuff here, and how we were kind of mentioning earlier about we're not seeing as many evacuees and things like that, and kind of having a conversation with her, and I hope she don't mind. It was general details we're talking about, but what's kind of different from this one is a little. One, it was a very isolated area where where it just hit hard and fast, but the isolated area it hit is kind of the same area that's been hit, and so a lot of the houses and things that hit were already jacked up from the first one,
right?
And so there weren't people in them. So weirdly, a blessing in disguise here.
Sure. Yeah, I saw the racetrack was.
The racetrack is pretty
gone.
Yeah, I don't think they're coming back this season. The way
No, they're closed for the season.
Yeah,
They've already
I think
announced that.
Yeah, they were walking horses out, and then there was a video of a horse like walking in water, like halfway up its back. And if anybody knows how tall a horse is, that's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
Artax, no! Oh, never-ending story vibes. Like I have PTSD from that movie as a kid, and every time you see something like this, you just that scene flashes through my head.
Where he's crawling through the water and like the tar.
Getting sucked into the quicksand.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I love that movie, by the way.
It's a great movie.
Call my name.
It's always about movies. We go back to that. Like I'm hitting 2012.
I always call her Great Dane, even though those names Titus. I call him Falcor because sometimes when he lays just like Falcor. And I'm like, you should have been named Falcor.
Paws down like that. Yeah.
Well, and we've moved far enough forward in time that there's less and less old Yeller references now. Like, it's usually old crotchety people like me that, mention the old spoiler, kids. You want a sad movie, go watch Old Yeller. You'll be crying at the end of that one, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. When I say I don't think people get when I go on get. I don't think they understand what I'm referencing.
Right.
But yeah, it'll get you.
Yeah. There's a couple more modern ones that I have not watched. Like, isn't there one?
Anytime you see a dog on the cover of a movie,
Yeah.
you're
Don't
gonna cry at the
Yeah,
end of that movie.
they're gonna kill that dog at the end. It's gonna be
Yeah.
sad.
Wasn't it Marley and Me?
Yeah.
I never
that's
watched
a bad
it.
one.
That's a tough one.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen parts of it. I don't think I've ever actually watched that from end to end.
Well, and right now too, I'm sort of on like an emotional edge. So like movies like that those will really send you over the over the line.
There's a TV show, and I don't even remember the name of it, but like the first 30 seconds of the movie, like a deer gets killed, and I was like, nope, click, turned it off. I was like,
Bambi.
I ain't watching it.
It's called Bambi.
No, not that one. It
Deer
was the
Hunter.
actual deer hunter. It was a more updated one.
Man Tracker.
I never saw it coming. The Deer Hunter.
It was awful. I was like, oh nope. Spoiler alert.
Are you sure that wasn't the opening scene of the movie Hot Shots? The deer antler?
Right.
No, it was a TV show. I don't remember what it was though.
Oh man.
But I'll watch serial killer documentaries all day long.
Oh yeah, people killing people don't bother me.
When it comes to animals, that's
Yeah.
I get it.
Like I can't even watch the videos like with the Sarah McLachlan song playing. Nope.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Speaking of this, and I just saw another one recently, and this is why I got to do it, but I'm mentioning it, but this is starting to get on my nerves now.
Okay.
There is a show that's been on Netflix, and it's one of these cult classic types.
Okay.
And they put I think 2 seasons on Netflix. And the third season, they keep teasing whether they're going to do it or not do it. The writers and all this. The show is called, now it just went right out of my head. I was doing it. It's Mindhunter. You ever heard of this show?
I have heard.
And it's
yeah.
and it's really good show because the first 2 seasons it's like almost historical. It's talking really about how the FBI starts their serial killer profile program, like on how they delve into the mind of a serial killer. And so the show's about these 2 guys, and they're going and interviewing serial killers and everything and trying to kind of learn what makes them tick so they can build profiles and catch
The psychology.
future guys. Yeah. And the first 2 seasons are really good. Now it's a little dark, a little twisted. I mean, it's about serial killers. We ain't talking about sunshine and rainbows here.
Sometimes we are.
Right. I guess it's got a good and then apparently the guy that created it is semi-famous. I don't
David
remember.
Fincher.
Yeah, Dave Fincher. That's it.
He's the guy who did doggone it. That show left my head. The Twin Peaks.
Okay. And it's really well done. I just loved that show, and it's dark. Don't get me wrong. And it happened yesterday. Mindhunter season 3 is, and it's always like Netflix adjacent things. It's not really Netflix,
Right.
But I wish someone would just tell me one way or another. We're not doing it anymore. Shut up with this thing, or David Fincher, get off your can and do this. I don't know.
think if they're
It's like the
actually
Lincoln
showing-
Lawyer.
Right?
They advertised when they were going to start filming, but not when they were going to be releasing.
Yeah, that'll probably be another year before we see that one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's too long.
Yeah.
It says, okay, so here's what this says. This is 2 days ago. Mindhunter producer, Charlize Theron, says the revival lies in the hands of one person, and that one person is
Not going to tell
David
you.
Fincher.
Well, get off his can and do it, man.
It says the actor was asked about the future of Mindhunter. She doesn't. Okay. She said it all depends on Fincher himself. I think you know just as well as I do. This is a quote that it's really in the world of David. It's up to him. But in fairness, they did eventually make a new season or a couple new seasons of Twin Peaks. It took them 20 years to do it. So maybe that's just how the mind of David Fincher works.
David Fincher got to get a punch in the mouth if you don't start getting to work. Ain't got time for his tomfoolery.
Got time to wait around with your
I don't know how
nose.
much time I got left in this earth, man. Put Mindhunter back on.
Tomorrow's not promised to nobody.
That's right. You see my diet? All right. It's 9:17. Crystal Noble's going to officially join us here from the Roswell Humane Society. But Feast, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 81. We're already in the 80s at 9:18 in the morning. 81 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is, that's how I roll. Back in the aughts. 51% humidity right now. I believe the wind is lying. It says out of the south at 14, but well, it's moving out there a little bit, but it didn't look so windy to me. Yeah, it's a high wind. But sunny for today with a high right around 100, 99 officially. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight we're looking at a 20% chance at showers. Mainly, don't wait up. They're like midnight to 3 in the morning, so overnight. Partly cloudy, overnight low is 72. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny and hot once again with a high right around 100 tomorrow. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night sounds a whole lot like tonight. 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Overnight low of 71. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday we get a little cooler and the rain chances get a little bigger. We are looking at a 40% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. Mostly sunny and 92. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 50% at the rain on Saturday night. And they're talking before midnight, then after. They're giving me the word salad. And then between midnight and then, but anyway, we got a chance of like a 50% chance of rain Saturday night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. A 30% chance of rain Sunday for the afternoon. Mostly sunny, 87 for a high. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we're looking at 20-30% chance of rain. High is right around 90. I think 89 on Monday, 90 on Tuesday, 91 on Wednesday. All right, it is 9:20. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Crystal Noble will officially join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
For the first time ever, the National Championship Air Races are touching down in Roswell, New Mexico. From September 10th through the 14th, witness the world's best pilots battle it out in the fastest motorsport on the planet. Vintage warbirds, cutting-edge jets, aerobatics, and family fun, all against the stunning New Mexico sky.
3, 2, 1.
Get your tickets now at airrace.org. Don't miss this high-octane spectacle.
Bob Reed Pest Control is committed to providing the most modern pest management solutions for homes and businesses. Bob Reed can handle every aspect of pest control, from general insects to trees, shrubs, yard treatment, and commercial weed control. And they're the only Centricon termite colony elimination system authorized operator in Southeast New Mexico. No job is too big or too small. Bob Reed Pest Control, Southeast New Mexico's pest management professionals. Find them online at bobreedpestcontrol.com or call 575-623-5344. Serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
As the Apostle Paul writes to his student Titus, who is ministering on the island of Crete, he encouraged the church to be ready to do whatever is good, to slander no one, to be peaceable and considerate, and always be gentle toward everyone. He also calls them to devote themselves to doing good for others. As I'm recording this, Roswell has just experienced another round of flooding rain. One of our members rescued some young people who were stuck on top of the roof of their car that had flooded out. It's times like these when I love the church where I serve, the people I serve with, and the community I call home. I've been humbled by the outpouring of help that people of Roswell have given to not only their friends and neighbors, but to total strangers. With all the craziness in this world, choose to make a positive difference. Choose to do good and help someone in need. And just remember, always be kind.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23. Talking about a cliffhanger. Man, 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, now officially from the Roswell Humane Society, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How is the shelter, first off?
Shelter is good.
Everything with the rains and everything, the roof keeps doing what it's doing.
The roof is great. We actually had a weird phenomenal thing happen that obviously when the October flood happened, it was in the nighttime, so we didn't know
right
if it did or didn't. So a couple weeks ago when we had that really heavy rain during the day, because the water drains off the roof, down the gutters, and then it goes outside to the outside drains, and then all the rain coming from the rain, the water was going to the outside drains, and then it drains inside to the main drain.
Okay.
Well, the water was coming up inside the inside drains because there was so much so fast it couldn't all get out that fast.
So it was backwashing in.
So it was coming in, and I was like, "Oh, buddy."
And that ain't a roof gonna fix that. That's just
no. Honestly, the drains, are only so big. They can only hold so much. And so when you've got 10,000 gallons of water trying to go through a hole that big.
And then, of course, the fact that you had inside drains there and everything else is probably the blessing in disguise, because without that could have been a whole lot worse.
Yes, it really could have been.
Yeah. So,
but
the animals, where the animals are living, everything's good to go there.
Everything's good to go. Nobody was floating or any of that stuff. So just really weird with the drains.
How do the animals handle? Because I know dogs and thunderstorms aren't always, a good cocktail. Sometimes.
So some dogs do just fine with loud sounds, and some don't.
Did the 4th, everybody make it through okay?
We did fine on the 4th.
Yeah.
We give the rescue remedy or Benadryl.
Sure.
To try to help.
Everybody gets a cocktail that night.
Yes. This is for your service tonight.
Yes.
And then for a couple of days after, because people pop fireworks for days before,
a week-long deal
days
usually,
after.
Yeah.
So we just kind of, try to give them stuff to help keep them calm. We play music, so it's loud, so it kind of drowns out the sound of the banging of the fireworks.
Sure.
Now, if a thunderstorm rolls through in the middle of the night, unfortunately, that's something we can't prevent.
No.
But for the most part, they do okay. It's very rare that we have an animal that doesn't do extremely well.
Sure.
So,
and I'm going to guess, just like any crowd situation, ones that would normally not have an issue, but when everyone else around them's going nuts, they kind of, you know what I mean?
yeah, they're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what's going on? I guess I'm going to be nuts too. It's kind of like, all I can think of is like prison movies, like when the new fish comes in and everybody, it's like that kind of vibe, I guess I'm supposed to do that. All right.
I always laugh because anytime we take a new dog back and like all the dogs bark and get excited, in my head, I always say, let my people go, like every time. And so like we have a dog that like after he finishes eating, he picks up his food bowl and he bangs it on the chain
Attica
link
style.
Yeah, he bangs it on the chain link fence, and I'm like, I know what you're singing in your head.
Attica. All I can think of course, if now that there's a new Naked Gun movie coming out, but if you remember the original Naked Gun movie, there's a scene where he does that. He's in jail for something. Attica, I can't believe this. My wine was served at room temperature. Attica. He starts writing his whole. It was pretty good, but good news is everything's good there. They're all good.
Yes, everything is good.
And,
no flooding inside.
Nice.
Roof held up good. So
excellent. And I'm going to take a guess that there is a bevy of animals that are ready to
we do
find forever homes now.
We do.
So, I know cats were a little hit or miss there for a little bit. How are they right now?
Full
of cats. Okay.
Full. So
the ones that were in quarantine or out of quarantine?
Yes, there's still a couple more that need to come out of quarantine, but I didn't have enough room in the other room.
Gotcha.
And so I have a couple that have been adopted that get to go home on Friday. So after they leave on Friday, the others that have finished their shots will move over
to the main area, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
And I only have one adult cat. Everything else is young
and kittens. Okay. And those are usually more popular. People want kittens, obviously, because you want your animal with you as long as humanly possible. So the younger, the better on that generally. So
yeah. So we have 2 orange tabbies.
Okay.
One's name's Garfield. One's named Heathcliff.
Cool.
Currently,
the 2 official most famous orange cats.
Yeah. Currently, both of them have like a slight ear infection, so they're on medication to get rid of it. But people can still see them. It's not something that's contagious to other cats. So.
And I imagine with the moisture and everything, that's probably a cocktail for some of that stuff.
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh.
Yeah. Ear infections, things like that.
Allergies. Yeah.
Yeah. Dogs and cats get it too, just like we do. Yep.
And then we have Tito, which is a long-haired. Eventually, he'll be a full flame point in Siamese, because Siamese, they don't get their colors until they get older.
Gotcha.
But, like, they start with, like, the little tips in colors. So he's going to be a flame point. When we got him, he already had a prior injury to his eye.
Okay.
And so we took him to the vet. They did the dyes and all of that to make sure that there was no cut or ulcers on the cornea, and it's not. So one of his eyes has just, like, a slight film coloring to it. He can see out of it. It doesn't bother him. So that is just the scar tissue that his eye built from the previous injury from him coming to us.
Just gives him some more character. That's all.
And, he's funny because he'll look at you and then he'll go.
So he's trying to adjust. Yeah.
With the one eye, he's off.
Just trying to adjust.
And then we have Latoya, which is a white Siamese flame point too.
Okay.
So originally there was Marlon, Tito, Janet.
Are these all brother sisters?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
Michael and.
So the Jackson 5.
We did the Jackson 5.
The 3 sisters rolled in.
Yeah. It was 2 girls and 3 boys, so we just threw the 2 sisters in.
Yes.
So out of the Jackson 5, Tito and Latoya are the 2 that are left.
Okay. Janet got adopted.
Michael got adopted. Marlon was the first one to get adopted.
Marlon was the popular one.
Marlon was.
Nice. Must have been a Living Color fan.
So he was part of the Jackson 5.
Oh, I'm thinking of Marlon Wayans, not Marlon Jackson.
No,
Sorry.
Marlon Jackson.
My brain went different Marlon. Sorry.
There's a lot of Marlons out there. So we have the 2 flame points, the 2 orange tabbies. We have this really adorable, just tan tabby. His name is Toby. He's got the perfect M on his forehead.
Ooh, so the true markings of the tabby.
The true markings of the tabby, and he is a character. He's just all over the place, ready to go. He likes belly rubs.
Oh,
he
really?
likes to be flipped on his back and his
That's
belly rubbed.
That's a 1% thing with cats.
Yes.
Even like to this day, our cats trust us most. I can rub chest, but there is a certain line you do not cross, and as soon as you do, the claws come out, and
you hit the kill switch.
Yep. Even the most trusted cats don't like that usually.
No. And then we still have Freckles. She's the adult tortoiseshell, who's just as lovable as possible. Yeah. Look at the softie over here.
She is a cutie.
But the 2 other tortoiseshells, Hoots and Scoots, they have been adopted and they get to go home on Friday.
Love that. Good.
I'm trying to think. Oh, and then we have 2 black cats, Felicia and Annie.
Okay.
They have 2 little just like white tufts right here.
Okay.
Other than that, they're solid black.
All right.
And they're going on 4 months old, and they're just rambunctious
just
as
fun
kittens,
little kittens, huh?
and ready to go.
Good deal. Those might be just full warning. At night, you're not going to see them cats. So if you got poor vision, maybe those won't be the best cats for you. Because when you're trying to go to the bathroom at 3 a.m, that cat will be right there in front of you trying to get there.
Make sure your cat wears the reflective colored vest. Just get, like the doggy coats for when you're walking them and they got the reflective. Just find one in the cat size.
Put some bells on that thing and a maybe one of those flags with a light on the end. I don't know. Follow me to the bathroom.
The fish that lives down in the deep ocean that has the thing that comes over the front of it that lights up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You need to put like a light on the tip of the cat's tail so it goes.
Yeah. And of course, make sure you keep them protected and indoors during the Halloween time frame.
Yes.
There's
So
a bunch of sycophants that do weird things to black and white cats.
any of the cats that come or get adopted from the Humane Society are to remain strictly indoors.
Yep.
However, we do know that cats are cats, and
They tend to get out from time to time.
they do. And I always tell everybody an old trick that I was taught a long time ago by one of our volunteers, David Finley. If you have an old metal coffee can, or if you have like soda pop can, aluminum, throw some rocks or pennies
So it makes
or
some
marbles
noise.
in it.
Yeah.
Tape the lid shut, and then anytime they walk by the door, you throw the can and hit the door. So when the cat hears the sound, they resemble it to the door making that sound, and then they stay away from the doors.
Nice. That makes sense. We have a different system, but one of our cats likes to, we'll go into the garage, and like our laundry and all that's in there too, but we don't want the cats in the garage. We don't let them in the garage. And so they know that's a place they're not supposed to go. But every once in a while, one of our cats likes to do the escape and try to bolt past you and run into, and it doesn't know what to do. Gets in the garage and go like, I got here, now what?
Just fun for her to play that game.
And then of
with
course,
us.
of course you sit there, come on, get in here. And she just looks at you, meow, meow. All we got to do is tap the garage door to open it, and make that noise. Pew, back in the house real quick. So that we got, our can is the garage door.
Cans come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
But it's just the sounds. Like sounds, cats are very into sounds.
Yeah.
So if there's a place you don't want your cat, you got to make that thing make the sound. So therefore, they resemble that sound to that thing, and they're like, I don't want to go nowhere near that.
Yep.
Every time I go near it, it tries to murder me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely. And cats do remember that kind of stuff. They know, and trust me. But yeah, it does happen. But but please, if you do get the black cats, please note that we're, be extra mindful during that time of year on that.
And
But that being said, otherwise, adopt, have a great time, and they're great friends. But yeah, this is something we got our mind is, yes, all cats are indoors. If you adopt from the Humane Society, those are indoor cats. And don't forget, regardless of a dog, cat, whatever, that animal will be spayed and or neutered, depending on the sex and everything. So when it leaves the Humane Society, it'll go to a veterinarian of your choice to get not only spayed and or neutered, but not and or just or neutered. I got one of them trans cats, but anyway.
there's only been a couple, but they do happen.
But and also microchipped, and that's another thing. Regardless of where you live, the Humane Society is within the city limits, which means by ordinance they have to chip every animal that comes out of that facility.
The majority of New Mexico now is
like that?
pretty much that is part of the ordinance. Artesia's had that in their ordinance for a really long time. So is Ruidoso.
I don't think the county does.
I don't think the county requires it. However, they don't, condone.
They don't discourage it.
They don't discourage it because,
but they don't mandate it. Yeah.
No. But counties versus cities, ordinances are a lot different.
Well, we all know we just have a problem with animals.
We do.
Too many of them. So we've got to be more stringent on this stuff than probably the average community needs to on that.
When, even if like you're from out of town, like Albuquerque, Rio Rancho area, we still require the spay or neuter here with the local vet prior to, because we have to physically take them to the vet, and then the adopters are able to pick them up from the vet after the procedure. So that way we know that that animal has been sterilized and has received the microchip and rabies vaccination and is healthy enough to travel.
Yes, absolutely. So it's all for the well-being of that cat, and at the end of the day, a better pet family experience, because these things that's just it. Everyone has ideas, and we're like, no. First off, spaying or neutering your pet is healthier for the pet. You eliminate a lot of cancer risks and other potential health issues by having them spayed or neutered at young ages. The other problem obviously is, it'd be one thing if they made one kid when they had a cat, but they don't. They make a half dozen of them, then you can't keep them.
Yeah, and sometimes they make more than that.
And so it's a problem. So unless you're trained or fully, that's your thing, stay away from that game. And by all means, if you see the puppy mills out in the parking lots or the cat mills, report them. That's illegal. But this is why we have the problem we have.
And I want to remind everybody, we do have the low income voucher program. Mm-hmm. If you do qualify, and you have not used it in the past, and are at your limit of vouchers, it'll help pay $100 towards the spay or neuter.
And that goes for a good portion of it, depending on the size of the animal, obviously.
Yes.
But yes.
Now, also, the call clinic, they come once a month. And so if your animal dog is under 80 pounds, they're able to do the spay or neuters there. Over 80 pounds, they're not able to because of limited space. And they're kind of heavy to move around when they're
bigger
dead weight.
Dogs, dead weight there with a
yes. So we do allow our vouchers to go through the call clinic, and that $100 covers the spay or neuter and parvo distemper vaccinations or feline vaccinations
basically
for cats.
Everything you need set up to have a good experience with that pet going
right
home.
The only thing that they don't do are microchips. However, those can be done at other vets.
Yeah. And it's very cheap. I think, what do they charge? $10-15 usually for something like that?
They're $35.
$35, yeah. It's not that expensive.
No. But if you get a hold of the call clinic and you're like, hey, I need to get my animal fixed, and they get you scheduled and you need a voucher, what we're doing is the week of the call clinic, when they call to schedule and anybody that needs a voucher, they're sending them down to get it so they have it right before the call clinic because the vouchers are only good for 30 days.
Yes.
And so the call clinic isn't always like an every 30-day thing. It's as the vet's able to come down from Colorado to do this, and the techs are able to
more
line up their
volunteers,
schedules.
more people allows them to do it more often, basically.
So if you are in need of getting it fixed and you are low income, but you're wanting help, call us. We'll get you in touch with the call clinic, and then that way, if they can schedule you, we can get you a voucher, and then everything is covered under that $100.
Yep. And then you, after all said and done, take the pet home and enjoy life together.
Yes. And then we have applied for another voucher program. Hopefully we get that grant. And if we do get that grant, then that'll extend our funds out a little bit more to be able to help out too.
Was curious. When you apply for these grants and things, does our area of need help your cause more? Like they say, hey, look at our numbers. This is why we need these programs.
Well,
does that help your cause, or does it matter at all?
Human population is the main thing.
Big driving number.
Is the big driving number.
Got it.
However, there are some places that are, basically just for the little people, and Roswell's still considered a little place.
Well, we can't get past census 50,000. We still can't do that. So until that happens, we're still little people.
Yeah. So even though our county is big, our populace of people is not. And so...
But our per capita of animal to people is probably a lot higher than the average.
It really is. Yeah. And a lot of that, that does help. But at the same time, the majority of the grants go off of like the larger places.
Sure. And I'm going to take a stab inner city, and more urban settings probably get more looked at than out in the country. They figure, they know how to take, you know what I mean? Like they treat pets different out in the country than they do in the, there's that mindset there.
Yes.
And
but there are Bill 118 passed this last session at the House, and so Bill 118 was to provide more funding for New Mexico nonprofit shelters for spaying and neutering in the community, and that is what we had applied for.
Excellent.
So,
fingers crossed.
Yes.
And then please, but keep checking back if you're wanting, and that's the if you're really needing help there, we have the vouchers, we have that ability. This is something I also want you to take into consideration. Owning a pet is a lifetime of expenses.
It is.
If you're not willing to pay the money when the dog or cat is sick to go to the vet, and it's going to cost you probably as much as your kid sometimes. I'm telling you right now, you can drop $1,000 easy at a vet if some lab work's going to already knock you up $500. Obviously feed and water and daily the maintenance. I mean, it's not a lot, but keeping the dog or cat brushed,
flea tick preventative, heartworm,
the medicines, preventive medicines, doing all, especially I'd say in the summer for flea and ticks, but again, you almost have to do it year round around here just because
we are the desert.
We're so mild. Yeah, it's a risk all forms of year. But if you're not willing to put in that or not able to, maybe maybe this is not the right time in your life to own a pet. So please take advantage of the vouchers. I get it. We want to spend less, but if money is a real issue here, maybe we need to focus your financial priorities on something else until you're in a better situation. I appreciate you wanting to love and adopt a dog or a cat, but if you're not financially able to do it, let's not put that burden on you unnecessarily here, because it's going to create more stress than what you're hoping it will be.
Right.
And so that's the part. It's not that we can't appreciate the love and everything that you're willing to give this pet, but I get it. When you're broke, sacrifices have to be made, and guess what? That dog's or cat's probably going to be the one that sacrifices at the end. And so we don't want to give you that burden. You want to love on cats and dogs, come be a volunteer. We'll let you come and hang out in the room and do all that. And then when you get to a point where you can financially take care of this pet, then let's get you adopting on a pet here. But it's better for you. It's better for them. Don't take it as a negative thing here. We're just
and like a lot of people, they feel guilty because they have only limited resources and they can't provide for the animal. And then a lot of the times that's why people release them to us, is because they're like, look, at one point we were great, things have changed, we're not great anymore, and we do understand that things change, life happens, but
this is also part of being a pet owner.
It is. So if you look for your 10-year life goal, and in that 10 years you don't see stability, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's just because medium to large dogs, they have a shorter life expectancy than small dogs. Cats have a very long life expectancy, and cats, yes, are less maintenance than dogs. However, it's still cost effective because you got cat litter, you got food, you got
I would also
hairball.
argue too is when cats have an issue, it's usually a bigger deal.
It is.
Like
dogs have little issues throughout the life, and cats just go, I'm going big or going home.
Exactly. That's kind of, so basically when you find out something, it's usually something big. Something, something degenerative or something terminal or something like that.
Right.
Just cat. And again, this gets back to the spaying and neuter stuff. When you have a cat that's spayed or neutered, you really eliminate their dangers until, 15 years down the road, 13 years down the road when this cat's a little older. And so, but yes, there's still those responsibilities. There's still, and cats are finicky too, depending on the, long hair cats. If they tend to be leaving hairballs and things for you all the time. We have to adjust to that, or according to that, or treat their diet in certain ways. So it's not, you're not off the hook on maintenance on cats either. But But by and large, they don't, like Sissy. I don't know. Every time she's getting hit by ticks, or she jumps off a cliff, or she always does something.
She was a bubble dog.
She broke her tail getting into bed one night. I mean, come on. She literally went to lay in bed
and yelped.
She had her tail parked wrong when she laid down and yelped. Broke her tail.
Yeah.
She's just like that,
They're clumsy just like us. Yeah. Come on now.
And then when she jumped off that 12-foot cliff.
Oh yeah, that was at our parents' house.
We went to go visit
I thought
our
we
parents,
lost her there.
and it's 3 levels, and then on the side there's a little drive thing that goes up, and there's no gate at the top. None has been put there yet.
Yeah, the house
and she didn't realize that. And she took off running when Mike was calling her from down there.
Yeah, I felt so
And
bad.
then realized a little too late, and then just saw.
She saw me, and then she realized, and she's like, I'm like, oh no, and I just watched, and she landed right on her feet, and she just stood there, didn't move, and you hear her whimper. I'm like, oh, we done broke her, and thank goodness, nothing major. She was sore. I had her checked out. Everything was good, but. Yeah, I felt, because I was down the hill and I went out there, and that's where I let her out. She ran up, but instead of coming down like the way she came up, she just, Dad's calling me, and she just
didn't realize
come hell or high water to get to me, and ended up doing a dive off a 15-foot wall there, and I was like, oh.
Became super sissy.
But dogs do these things, and then it's
yes.
The cat would have looked at me and said, "Are you crazy, old man? What are you doing, idiot?"
The cat's like, you want me? You come here.
Right.
I am not coming to you.
Exactly. But but you got to remember that when you're factoring in, for adopting especially your first pet dog or cat. Please understand there will be. It's going to be like kids. It's going to, they're going to cost things.
They're going to fall. They're going to get boo-boos. Yeah. They're going to get cuts and scrapes.
Yeah. And let's face it, you're going to spend money on things they don't need. you're going to be going, I do this all the time. I'll walk through and I'm like, oh, that's a cool toy. They'll like that toy. Like, they got 500 toys. Yeah, but we literally have a basket full of crap that they pull out once a millennium. But I just keep throwing things in there, and they'll play with it for an hour. And every once in a while, one will turn out under a couch or out in the middle of the floor somewhere. But yeah,
they like boxes best.
Yeah, like usually it's crap I don't buy. Usually it's the Amazon box.
Do you know what my cat used to love the most?
Huh.
You know the ring when you peel off the top of like a milk jug?
Yes.
Huh?
Or peppermint candies in a wrapper.
Yeah.
Doof.
They love bread twisty ties.
Okay, yep. Twisty.
Those are a big hit. Q-tips are a winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
The things that we want them to play with, they're like,
yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, it's got feathers and tails. No, give me the bottle cap that was sitting on the counter here. I'm going to knock and whack that around.
Yep. Really quick thrift store.
Yes.
So we had a set of 4 trailer tires with rims.
Okay.
They are 205 75 D15s.
Okay.
They're brand new.
All right. That sounds
4.
like a size that probably will fit a lot of vehicles too. I'm going to take a guess.
They're specifically for trailers.
Okay, so they're trailer tires.
Yeah. So I guess trailer tires have a different type of tread on them.
Maybe.
For weight bearing to disperse for the tires, so they don't pop.
Makes sense.
She has them marked $250.
Okay.
Each tire new on a rim is like $200.
Okay. So you can get basically half price for a set of brand new tires and rims.
Yes.
For a trailer.
Yep. Kids getting ready to go off to college. Parents getting ready to pack them up and ship them out.
Yeah.
We got luggage.
You know what? This is the perfect way to buy luggage because you're going to spend way too much on new luggage.
Have you seen the price of new luggage
recently?
Yeah,
you got to take a mortgage out for some of this stuff.
Even at Walmart, I was like, that's just a suitcase.
Like,
why?
Does that thing come with a bedroom and some...
I was like, is it going to fold my clothes, wash them, dry them, press them, iron them? Why?
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for a refrigerator, like even a garage refrigerator, it is missing the little door trays that like you put your condiments and stuff in.
You could probably buy those or
but
yeah,
not brand new, but $200.
Great.
So
and it probably will run forever.
Yeah, the older stuff does.
Yep.
Microwaves, if you need a microwave in your dorm room because
kids
back
going
to
to college
school's about to happen.
Don't buy
Chester drawers. If you don't have a lot of space, they have a couple ones, I don't know, a little bit longer than this.
Okay.
And the other one is about this wide and tall. So if you need, stuff to put your clothes in.
Well, maybe you're kicking the kids out as they go to college and you're like, I'm going to turn your room into a guest room. But you know how kids' Chester drawers are. They look like, teenage things. And you're like, I want adult looking ones for, my company.
Yes.
So now you can put those in there.
Yes. Anybody's needing a new gas stove, they have a gas stove. I think they have that priced at $200 as well.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Look at that. Shorts, and more shorts.
Nice.
They got racks of shorts, men's shorts, kids shorts, women's shorts.
And we live in an area you could wear shorts at least 10 months out of the year if you wanted to.
Pretty much. Bathing suits, lots of bathing suits. Now that we're getting into, the pool's opening and
you got a good at least another month of solid swimming left.
Yep.
I mean, usually about Labor Days when they start closing pools down and everything. So you got about a month and a half, actually.
Cookbooks. They have cookbooks for $1.
Cookbooks are way better than your phone.
I'm telling you, because one, you're going to be like, oh, I don't remember what website I went
lost
to.
It, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All you have to do is remember what page it was on or the name of it, and then go to the book.
It's very easy. You like what something on that page. Get another piece of paper, fold it, stick it in the top there. It's called a bookmark. We used to invent those back when you didn't read on things that weren't screens.
Or you just folded the corner of the page.
Yeah, or it folded down. But if I want to be respectful to the book, so I will put my own.
Yes, I'm just saying, like if you're in an area and you don't have something extra, just a little.
Like if you checked it out from the library, don't do that. Don't dog ear it.
If you own it, yes, but treat it respectfully because cookbooks, you can never go wrong with.
You pass those down to your kids usually. Like I know, like I swear, there's probably one or two cookbooks that you got from your mom.
Oh yeah.
In our house, and then I think it might be one from my mom in our house.
I have books. Yeah. I have handwritten recipes from my great grandma.
Yeah.
That my mom had.
Yep. Oh, yeah, there's that, too, the card index.
Yes.
The usually only problem is you better hope and pray that your mom or grandma had neat handwriting and they didn't spill things on the card. Yeah. Because that's usually like, it's either Worcestershire or word cherries. I'm not sure what is it. Wood cherries. It's asking for some here. There's a stain on it. But that's the only crux in that plan. But yes.
Cookbooks. You can never go wrong with cookbooks. And she's got so many. There's keto. There's
I'll see more newer ones.
Yes.
That deal with more new diets and new trends and things.
What's the other one? Carnivore.
Okay.
Just
Mediterranean.
Yeah. All soul food.
Ooh.
Comfort foods. Crock pot recipes where 30 minutes in the crock pot and you're done.
Those are my favorite.
We've had a crock pot.
Those are my favorite ones, the crock pot one, because they're like, I don't know, I want to do something in a crock pot. I just want to throw a bunch of something in there and forget about it. What sounds good? And that's the beauty of it. It's like, ooh, we're doing pot roast. No, we're going to do beef stroganoff. No, we'll do, I don't know, nachos or meatballs. You can do more than meatballs and little smokies in a crock pot, just saying.
I like little smokies and barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll eat them all day. I do love the meatball recipe that you mix grape jelly with
sweet and sour
like
meatballs.
the Heinz chili. It looks like ketchup.
Chili.
It's just chili
sauce.
paste, or what do they call it?
Chili
Yeah,
sauce.
chili sauce. Yeah, you get grape jelly and the Heinz chili sauce mixed in with the meatballs, and that makes a perfect.
It's a sweet and sour. It's good.
Perfect meatball glaze on there. Like if you like the meatballs with the like at a Super Bowl party or something. Yeah, that's the best. My favorite because it's got a little heat to it. Sometimes we'll throw a little green chili in there just for a little more oomph. But yeah, that's the way to go. Best way. Grape jelly and chili sauce. Heinz chili sauce.
I think he's advertising for these people now. Heinz chili sauce.
I expect a little check.
He's over here.
Yeah.
Heinz chili sauce?
I don't joke about my food. There's a heart attack when it comes to food.
Food and chocolate?
That's right. I'll joke about anything else, but food, I'm served. But anyway. Yes,
and they have a lot of books, a lot of kids' books. So teachers, if you need some books to stock up in your classroom instead of going and getting brand new ones, come and get them.
Yeah. You can get them pennies on the dollar. And,
yes.
Or like you said, like if you're wanting to start a library for your child and you buy all these brand new, you're going to drop $100.
Or
you could
more.
You could literally fill up a bag that will probably support your whole child's library, and did it for under $10 probably. I mean, it's really impressive, especially with kids' books. You can get a lot of, they're small, so you can get a lot of them.
Yeah, you can get like 60 of them on one shelf.
Yeah. And another tip, just if you want to help out another organization, from time to time, the Friends of the Roswell Public Library, they run the Books Again bookstore. Yes. Every once in a while, about a month or so, they have what's called a bag sale. And you give them $5, they give you a bag. And if you can get a book in that bag, you can walk out the door with it. You can literally buy the entire child a library of books in that, because those books are $5. So if you've gone through the Humane Society supply, trying to say that 3 times fast. If you've gone through their supply,
you couldn't even say it one time.
I know, it's hard. Humane Society supply, but go through that, then go hit Books Again. So.
Yes, and then there are times where if we have a plethora of books, we'll call Books Again and say, "Hey, are you in need of any of this stuff?" And then we'll send books over there to them.
Yeah, it's a great, and all the money that goes back from them goes back into the library too. So it's a good win-win.
We like to help other nonprofits.
That's kind of something that's very much, and I know the thrift stores in town generally kind of keep a open channel, because like time to time we'll get some folks from the domestic violence or homeless saying, "Hey, we need some people, need some clothes. Can they come do some shopping over in your place? Come on down. We'll get them in here." Yes. And vice versa.
Yes.
You've got a family in need, you'll send them over there to help out.
If you have needs right now because of the recent weather conditions and floods and other places, come in, talk to Camille, explain your situation. She's very good at helping people and doing whatever she can to help.
Absolutely.
If there's, household items that, you got that were damaged and you're looking for them, let her know. And that way, if something comes in, she can call.
Yeah. And we'd be happy to help out and do whatever we can there. And we do appreciate that relationship that you guys have, and everybody. That's the cool part about our community. We have a lot of cool resources that when someone truly comes in and walks in the doors in one of these locations, if they can't help them directly there, there's usually a chain of people okay, I can't help you here, but go see so-and-so over at this place. They're going to take care of you. And we have a great, I guess you could say, underground system that works that way. So
yeah.
Good deal. But by you donating and shopping, you make support.
Yes, if you have items that you want to donate and you need it picked up, call down, talk to Camille. She'll get you scheduled. And that way, if you can't bring it to us, we can get it from you.
Absolutely.
If you're able to bring it to us, call ahead. Make sure that, if it's very large items, if we have the room for it, so that way.
May ask you to hold on to it for a day or two while we make arrangements, things like that. But,
or we move some stuff over to this side and over to this side. To
for instance,
slide
like
it
a cat comes out of quarantine, we moved it. The same kind of deal with the thrift store side.
And we asked this just because we have to keep within wheelchair accessibility. Or people walking with walkers.
ADA compliant.
Yeah, so that way if anybody is walking through, there's nothing for them to trip, fall on, or there's nothing blocking any fire exits.
That's easier said done in an antique store, or thrift shop, or a place.
Yes, so we're not unappreciative. We're just trying to stay within compliance, and we want to make sure that everybody has a safe shopping experience.
Absolutely.
While they're there with us.
And, of course, if you want to donate on the animal side as well, too.
Yes.
Cat litter is always a blessing. Don't buy the nice stuff. Just get the cheap, the big, looks like a cement bag.
Yeah.
Just buy that stuff. Don't buy the
Walmart
fancy clump
has
and any of that.
It's the special kitty cat litter clay Tractor Supply. You can get a big bag for $10. You can get a 50-pound bag for $10.
That would be great. Of course, dog and cat food always in various.
Yes, dog food is a little bit more of a high demand because we have a lot larger dogs right now, and they have to eat a little bit more.
So if you got them big, I don't know what they call them, 80-pound bag, whatever those big giant
55.
bags, 55, whatever those are, grab a couple of those. That'd be very helpful. They go through that pretty quickly.
We do try to stick to the brands that have no red dye in it.
Yeah, that's if it does have the red dye.
If it says beef, it's gonna have red dye. So look for chicken, just because chicken is a white meat, so it's not.
And unfortunately, just all the time. You get what you pay for when it comes to dog food. The cheaper the dog food, usually the more hot garbage is and less quality product.
We try to stick to pedigree adult chicken just because it's most cost effective. So if we do to go purchase it,
it's healthy, but it's not the cost of Imes or some of the crazy expense.
It's not the best, but it is most
Blue
cost
Buffalo
effective
or whatever. Yeah.
And it does have good nutrients in it and no red dyes.
Yep, that's the big thing. And then. Of course, toys and stuff as well. Just none of the chew toy bones, none of that stuff. But balls and
Kongs, any of that kind of stuff.
Any of that stuff is good.
We're running low on catnip, so if anybody wants to drop us off some catnip,
we need to keep everybody calm.
Yeah,
catnip helps.
We need the mellow.
That's right. Good deal. But and then of course come by real quick before we go, even though we're late. Give the store hours and the shelter
thrift
hours.
shop is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30, and then the kennels are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30.
Excellent.
If it's like a major holiday, typically we do close for the major holidays.
Sure.
And then if you
I think you're done until about Labor Day now.
I think so. We're normally closed on Mondays anyway. So.
Oh yeah, because of that. So that's not even a thing. Yeah.
No, so shouldn't have anything other than that. Oh, sorry. From August 1st to 15th, any school supplies, backpacks, any of that stuff is going to be 50% off for kids.
So save on that, too?
Yes.
So if you got your shopping list, bring them on in and see if you can save a buck or two doing that before you go to the big box stores buying whatever you can't get.
Yes.
Well, thank you as always.
Thank you.
And we will see you here next time.
Yes.
It is 10:01. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early for our Friday show, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Take care, everybody.
A deadly flash flood in southern New Mexico. A man and 2 children were killed. Ruidosa has been grappling with flooding since wildfires stripped the surrounding